Hello. Can we hear Jane? Say something, Jane.
Testing, testing. One, two, three,
There we go.
testing.
Yep. I have switched headphones, which means I no longer have separate channels for me and Jane. So here we are. All
Yep.
right. I hope y'all are ready because we're gonna go on a voyage today.
We
Um,
are.
we're gonna be talking about Arcanawatch. In fact, we're going to do a whole read through from now to the end. So hey, Anna, welcome. Um, so yeah, get ready, because it's happening whether you're here for it or not, and I know we're all
Mhm.
here for it. So,
Okay.
do we want to
Uh,
talk about like?
the
Oh,
cover
hey,
art.
yeah, it's had its first birthday already. I didn't even notice it slipped by.
Wait, what? Huh?
April 7th, 2023
Oh,
was when the site went live.
my God.
It's had its first birthday. Is tag still set to Warframe? Thank you. Tag's gonna be set to art.
Yeah. So while Adzy's changing, getting the tag changed, let me talk about this cover a bit. So Arcanawatch, initially, I didn't have a cover for chapter one. Um, we basically just dived into it. This is something I made basically at the end of the first chapter. Uh, and this is basically the first full color depiction of the main three characters, Maria, Jenna, and Elizabeth. And yeah, I like this. It's just a very nice cover picture. I think
Mhm.
worked very hard on it.
The logo was the logo was me being like, okay, here's what I want to see, and then Jane throwing that throwing that together very quickly and just being like, yep,
Mhm.
perfect, cool.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, next thing. Yes, yes, yes. Ice cream's so good. All right.
Okay.
So
All right.
we began with a prologue, which was the two of us, or rather me being like, okay, I've got to write a magical girl comic because I didn't know I was going to have to write one of those until I had read Sleepless Domain, which I think we should talk about a little bit because Sleep.
Yeah. So, Arcana Watch is definitely born of a love of magical girls that was definitely instilled by Sleepless Domain.
Yeah, I didn't really
Yeah.
have any particular love of magical girls until Sleepless Domain. I had watched Sailor Moon as a kid, and that was it. So,
Yeah. Sleepless Domain got me into other magical girl stuff, and there's a lot of really good magical girl stuff out there, like not even Madoka, like stuff like Pretty Cure, uh, stuff like Sailor Moon you mentioned, but there's just a lot. It's an incredibly expansive genre, like beyond the deconstructions, and just it's one that fills my heart with a lot of joy. There's something empowering about stories about girls assuming superpowered forms that let them tackle problems that they otherwise wouldn't be able to. You know, for a trans woman.
yeah,
But yeah, so Adzy sort of tossed this uh, prologue script at me, basically, and we sort of finagled it around. Obviously, the Arcana part of Arcana Watch refers to the Arcana of the tarot deck, which is you know it's
I
sort of a source that a lot of people have been drawing from more and more lately. Like just as you know as its origins are essentially as a game, like there was not originally any amount of like mysticism around it, but
yeah, I
uh,
I'll go on a rant about this for hours. Like, um, we know it in the same place we know, we learned about it in the same place we knew about a lot of things, which is an 18th century Victorian dude whose name escapes me at this exact moment. Sorry,
yeah.
19th century dude in Victorian England. Um, who just created a bunch of this stuff out of whole cloth. And like, if you read a bunch of tarot books, they quote this guy directly as saying like, "Oh, the origins of tarot are shrouded in mystery, and it's long been lost to time, and it goes back as far as ancient Egypt." Where in fact, if he'd simply taken a trip down the road from him, he in the British Museum, he would have seen cards on display from Venice, which is where they're like originally from. They're playing cards from Venice,
Mhm.
where like basically it was a game that was kind of like Magic the Gathering, but with your own persona in it. Um, we don't know the rules for it, but we know that like people had their own cards in it,
Mhm.
and yeah, so it was like a court game, I guess. And then if he's and those are the 15th, 16th century, so he could have forgotten about them, but also if he'd have taken a trip to France, he would have seen peasants playing it. It's
Yeah.
still played in the south of France, tarot. Like it's not there is nothing inherently mystical about tarot cards.
Mhm.
You can use them for like any kind of mystical practice you like, but the cards themselves have no power. They have as much power as you give them.
Yeah. However, we decided to give them more power, specifically in our universe. And here, um, we basically set out, originally, we did assign Arcana to a lot of characters, and that began with our main trio here.
So
We
let's
had,
let's
hmm?
just let's just read the comic. Do you want to
Yeah,
do Maria and Elizabeth, and I'll do Jenna?
sure. My mom is a legend, the coolest person I know. I was born to do this. The Russian thunder, the thrill of the fight. That's what I live for. My name is Maria Green, and I am a magical girl. Shadow Witch. My sister is strong, but she can't do this alone. I'll always be at her side, even when it's scary. To defend the defenseless, to help the helpless, that is what I live for. My name is Elizabeth Green, and I'm a magical girl.
Before this, I didn't like the shape I saw in mirrors. I was quiet. I felt ugly and scared. Now I can be loud and beautiful and brave. The freedom to be myself. That's what I live for. My name is Jenna Poole, and I'm a magical girl.
So yeah,
I'm gonna
I
find
don't.
myself doing the voice I do for Jenna whenever I'm writing this.
Mhm.
So,
Uh,
like,
I don't think we should necessarily read every comic because then we'll be here all night. But I
bet.
think, you know,
Okay.
so yeah, we have the Sun, Temperance, and the Fool. And I have to say, I'm so very proud
Yeah,
of that Fool card.
there's so much symbolism in these. Like, you've got the kind of bombastic nature of Maria. You've got the kind of she's a little lady picture of
Mhm.
Elizabeth there, and then you've got the egg cracking.
Yeah,
The bunny.
I have the figure literally emerging from a cracked egg
Yeah,
with their animal companion, a bunny.
I know artists who use subtext and they're all cowards.
I mean, you so that's a fun joke, but it is important to have both main text and subtext.
Yes,
You must use them in conjunction.
this is one of the reasons why I don't bother um seeking ads. And if anyone ever sends me ads, I'm going to create a section I call the fridge in in the Discord server where I put up all like any requests for ads I get. Um, but yeah, like we don't do ads, and part of that is because like uh I never want to be beholden to advertising politics when talking about characters. And I think it's important that that these guys get their kind of day in the sun as
Yeah,
genuine as I can write them.
yeah. I'm also quite proud of the profiles,
Yeah, they're really good.
the side view of each character. Like, just
Uh, Elizabeth is 20% hair by volume.
oh god, I feel like she's at least 40% in like some of the pages I draw her. I think we can move on to the first page.
Mm,
And
first
here
page one.
we have
Oh,
Jenna.
Jenna. Yeah, Team Thrash.
Oh man, it is so interesting looking back at this page just because the first thing I notice is in the upper left, Arcanawatch #1, First Patrol. And I I think I abandoned like
Yeah,
titling.
there was no way to title them after a while. I didn't even bother.
Oh, like almost immediately.
Yeah,
And like I also changed it so it was like white on black instead of like black on white, a black on white bar.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, and this was actually the first format you proposed was doing like 6 panel
yeah.
thing.
And then you were
And
like, "Nah,
I immediately like took a hammer to that.
you'll see that change very quickly." Also, I believe that like one of the jokes I've made to myself is the stretchification of Jenna Poole. Is that as the comic has gone long, she's just gotten longer
Yeah, she's just gotten more and more. Like I have both stretched Jenna, like we,
and squeezed the other two.
and I have taken Maria and Elizabeth and go
Yeah.
just a little. But yeah, the so talking about decisions that have stuck around, the coloring style. You'll notice that their eyes are
Disney's
totally.
Honey, I stretched the bun. Uh,
But yeah, the coloring style is basically uh when Arcana Watch first started, I was doing USXW at the time and working a full time job, and I needed to make compromises for about the look of the comic,
uh,
and so like I went with this style, and it does save me a lot of time in like the coloring stage, not having to uh, do all of that stuff. And the splashes of color lend it a it stands out a lot. I think it lends the comic a very unique look. Um, and finally, one last thing I want to bring up: uh, characterization via fashion is something that is already sort of rearing its head here. You've got Maria with the unzipped hoodie. You've got Elizabeth with her collared shirt, and then you've got Jenna with her cute little poncho and her ponytail, and sort of a general suggestion that she's wearing like layers and drapes. Like, I really like that about each character is something I try to keep consistent.
um, so the art now, though, I'm gonna talk about the writing a little bit. This one I already knew going in, like, how this was gonna go, and it so, like, I would say at the risk of, like, sucking my own dick here, but look, we're talking about one of my favorite works that I've ever done. I'm gonna be sucking my own dick the whole way through this. Can't wait to see that clip later. Um, oh yeah, by the way, make clips because I can put them on YouTube, and that helps
Mhm.
cancel some of the ad revenue, so I don't have to run ads.
Yeah.
I'm setting a goal. Probably at the end of the stream, I'll like put it up officially. But like, if we can get 100 subs, I'm turning ads off forever. The only ads you'll see on the channel will be this one.
Hmm.
So yeah, because that means that our bills are covered as far as this goes.
So writing, you were
So
saying.
writing, um, the like hesitancy of Jenna, and then just Maria's kind of like Maria's got a lot to say, and then Elizabeth kind of tempering.
Yeah.
It's Jenna, she can hang. I know. She has good time. We kick some monster ass. Maria! Monster butt? Better. Monsters have butts? Some of them do.
Yeah, real quick. Actually, we can move on to the next comic. I'll bring it up in a bit.
This image.
Yeah. So I feel like I would have if we could go back,
Yeah.
I would have uh what's the word? Decompress this a little. I would have like put a little more space between the beginning of the comic and the first transformation, but I'm not gonna complain that it is where it is.
I
I
wouldn't
do
have.
think, like if you're if you're engaged in a magical girl like piece of work, time to first transformation should be relatively short.
So, a couple of quick notes on the yeah, like I would have definitely put it in the second comic. Kidding, absolutely. A couple little things about the writing in this one because we see the first part of it. I name streets after fans and family. So, if you stick around long enough, you might see your real last name or something used somewhere. I never say like who they belong to
Mhm,
because I'm not in the business of doxing people, but you will see like whenever a street or a road or a lane or whatever a location is mentioned,
mhm.
it's usually someone I know's legitimate last name. So it's a little Easter egg just for you if you ever see it. Um, Also, MGT stands for Magical Girl Team.
Yeah. 056.
6. And oh, magic is color. Color is magic. Chroma is a was something we knew from the very beginning.
Yeah, basically a way to sort of tie the like look of the comic into things diegetically is the idea that chroma is basically uh the magic like it's magic is super colorful, it is super saturated. Like it makes everything else pale in comparison to it. And that is conveyed through when magic is happening, it is colored and it stands out against everything that isn't.
Mm,
And that comes through, especially with these transformations when the girls become saturated with their signature color.
yeah.
And something else I tried to do with these transformations is, emphasize the shape and motion of each girl transforming. You have Maria doing this like insanely intense headbang with like these streaks,
Yeah.
these sharp lines and streaks of color. You have Jenna behind her friends, like with this rising sense of bursting power, like barely restrained within her. And then you have Elizabeth on the right, like being encircled by delicate lines of power, like threads.
Yeah, I love that. Uh, Also another note on color, magic being colorful and yeah, we use the yeah. Look forward to the future Netflix miniseries of when we finally get our Netflix adaptation and we just like bankrupt the studio with post processing colors.
Oh boy.
Uh, that's
Listen.
there's no plans for a Netflix miniseries yet.
Oh, I love this first panel here.
Yeah,
I love this first panel.
that's the first time you see like the color. So colored speech bubbles again is something we crib from Sleepless Domain, but
Mhm.
I think here
It,
it's we only have colored speech bubbles when people are transformed because like even their words exudes this power.
mhm. Yeah, there's I assume we will talk about the transformation eventually. We'll bring it up a bit more, but for this page, like, and for this chapter, like, the idea is to introduce the very basics of the world. There are magical girls. They transform at the lampposts. The mascots are like, as this like more or less states through the art and writing, the mascots are remote drones controlled by people.
Mm,
Like I don't think I gave the mascot a mouth in the future. That's sort of a uh, early installment weirdness.
yeah,
But you see here that uh, you've got their you've got their control guy here, and he's basically monitoring their energy levels. He's got a map with a radar and all that. And like he says, it's his job to make sure you're safe.
yeah. Poor TJ. um. Oh, yeah, no, the mouth went away immediately. It's right there.
Hmm.
Yeah, then foreshadowing with a shadow in the foreground.
Oh my god, literally. Ah,
Also, Jenna has the best faces.
you can already see the inbeanification of her.
In peanut, yeah, blobification, longification. One day
The
I'm
street.
going to make this bag.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love Jenna's bomb bag.
Yeah, it's based on this, right? Like that was the original idea.
Hmm.
The slight waver on Jenna's part, the ready bubble. Yeah, ready.
Like she's ready, but this is her first time doing
Yeah.
this. And yeah, we have our first look at some of the monsters.
Again, a very good Jenna face.
Yeah.
Increment the Jenna good face count.
I mean,
Uh,
that's just gonna be on every page she
she's
appears.
such a bean. A little more world building. So I don't like doing exposition. So I like to have exposition occur, world building occur like in like actual dialogue or like in
Yep.
fact. Also, I had
And
no idea what these things were gonna look like when I wrote it. And then like Jay drew these, and like that's really good. I like the little piggy monsters.
yeah, so I think I
Squitch.
like so we'll get like slight spoilers for the future, but the basic idea behind the kids patrolling is that the kids patrol early in the evening when the monsters are weak. Like there can be a lot of them, but they're the sort of thing that's easy even for kids to fight. And that's very deliberate. The kids tackle the monsters early on because even weak monsters, when left alone, will grow bigger and stronger.
Yeah,
So during the period when most weak monsters come out, the kids go out there and do cleanup. They make sure the sort of density of monsters stays as low as they can get it. Um, and that brings us to that last panel with our terminology.
yeah.
Uh, Adzy put in a lot of work for this because we wanted to incorporate the Arcana part. Uh,
I almost wanna show the spreadsheet just for like a second for people to like pause and pore over for hours, but I think some of it's outdated now anyway.
no spreadsheet.
The spreadsheet.
But yeah, this is a pack of swords.
Mhm.
One one
Deuce.
duce,
Duce. Deuce. Juice. Deuce or
one deuce,
juice. However you wanna
yeah,
pronounce it.
one deuce and three aces.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, TJ's there as the mascot monitoring the perimeter.
Mhm.
Um,
Pure.
and I think this is my first illustration of like powers in action.
Yeah.
Uh, although I think Maria may have summoned her daggers on a previous one, but
Yeah,
here,
she already has a knife in her hand here.
yeah. But yeah, you've got Elizabeth summoning her staff, and you have Maria doing a super jump.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go team witch. That's gonna come back later.
Yeah, but you would have also noted on the previous page, TJ is basically monitoring the perimeter
Oh,
so that the girls don't get snuck up on.
yeah. It's good night sky as well. Shing. Wsha. I think I had a lot of fun writing the sometimes
It,
Jane will message me like, "Hey, what sound does this make?" And I'll just be like, "Oh, what sound does a bunch of looping silks make?" And I'm like, "Oh, whip, whip, whip." You know,
yep.
what that process looks like is me making that noise over and over and over again. And sometimes Katie will walk past and look at me funny, and
Yeah.
then try to write down the letters. Like, I have been caught before going scrunch, scrunch, scurunch. Or is it
I
Skirontich? Is there a T in there? Is it extra squishy? Yeah.
I really like how the monsters came out on this last page actually. Like like I think that just the mouth with like the tongue sort of like crawling out of the darkness
Yeah.
like between the teeth is like that actually looks quite scary.
Yeah. It also looks like it's standing up on its hind legs like "Brr," which is kind of
Yeah.
freaky,
Yeah,
especially if
they don't
it's
have shadows cuz
yeah, because they are shadows.
yeah.
Shadow strike.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's definitely a Dragon Punch input.
yeah, so you don't see I'll talk about this later, but, like, there's a reason why you stop seeing some of these, like, names, a little later on.
Mhm.
Um, and the whole oh, wait, increment the good Jenna face counter.
I told you it was just gonna be on every page she appears.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Kaboom! They were like, "Sploosh." Good Jenna face.
oh god, this is just 4 for 4 on good Jenna faces,
Yeah.
frankly. Um, I appreciate that we got in there, like Elizabeth pointing out that like this is technically like Jenna's first time going on patrol like this, and she's putting probably a little too much power into her first couple of attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I put in those little circles in this in the third panel
Yeah.
just to illustrate like this is how Jenna gets down from places safely. She has a spell that arrests her downward movement a bit. So
Practical spell.
she can do a super jump to get on top of buildings and then jump down safely.
Yeah, gravity is a pentacle spell.
Yeah.
I
Um,
do love the illustration of them talking over TJ here.
yeah. TJ finally having to like turn the volume knob all the way up to show Earl's eyes up, and even by then Elizabeth has noticed exactly what it
Yeah, I
is.
just imagine him like slamming his fist on like the volume button and just yelling down the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, they're saying like she's saying gush gush gush. What is Elizabeth saying here?
Oh geez. I don't remember.
Oh, boast boast boast. That was it.
Yeah, that's
Boast boast boast
exactly.
gush gush gush.
Oh god, I love the little chibis.
Yeah. Like the walk.
Yeah, just immediately nails that.
Immediately nailed out. Maybe that's a plot point. We'll get there.
But yeah, uh, like this page, like the moment the mascot goes down, like
Everything goes to
Elizabeth
shit.
and
Yeah.
Elizabeth and Maria immediately like set up whatever barriers they can. Like Elizabeth puts up a magic shield, and Maria is grabbing the trash can and basically empowering it to be a slightly sturdier barrier.
Yeah. Again, good Jenna faces. It's just good faces in general. Yeah, flashbang. This is another thing I'm currently writing right now. Is um Jenna has a special interest in explosives, which has been channeled into a healthy outlet. I would say.
Yeah, and probably as healthy an outlet as you can have when your
Wh-
special interest is
When you're
explosives.
12.
When you're 12 and your special interest is explosives, it's this or fireworks,
Yeah.
and her parents probably prefer this.
Oh man, what would magical fireworks look like? Anyway. Um. very bright and colorful.
Yeah, so like you have Maria there doing her best to take care of Elizabeth, like who's like if you have a shield up and like something manages to punch through it, I feel like it's a pretty common trope to have that like have a little whiplash on the person using the
Yeah.
shield.
Yeah, we
So yeah, they made it to safety relatively.
kick its ass if it has one.
I love that callback.
Poop Rain. I forgot about Poop Rain. Poop Rain,
Poop
really?
rain? No, it's distracted, isn't it? I love basically uh Elizabeth has set up basically like a Christmas light version of herself.
Yeah.
Here's what it looks like. And yeah, Jenna used up most of her power like with that bomb earlier. Like she doesn't have enough to have one that can take out something this size. But there's like Maria's if there's one thing Maria's good at, it's using her power efficiently.
Mm.
So she has plenty of magic to spare. And combination attacks
Yep.
are awesome and and can have unforeseen effects.
Big Bang Shadow.
Yeah, if I could go back, I would have inserted one more like interstitial
Yeah.
page just depicting this thing's smoking crater.
Or just the city with a mushroom cloud.
It wouldn't have been that big, but you know, yeah. So like, and also just probably to illustrate Maria, like Maria's momentum took her over to the side of the building. Like
Yeah.
it's why Jenna and Elizabeth have to jump down to help her. And then yeah, we have here our first adult magical girls.
Yep. Grim and
Uh,
Andy. Yeah.
did we come up with a code name for Andy? Because Grim is a code name.
Andy
Uh,
is also her code. Also their code name
yeah.
because it's Grim and Anderson.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. They don't all have code names.
Yeah. But yeah, Andy is they them uses they them pronouns. Greta uses she her. And you know, this is basically standard procedure for mascot goes down. Like you alert the nearest adult team and get them the hell over there with a replacement.
Yeah. Also, like, I liked the first season of Ruby. I liked the second season of Ruby. I liked a few of the first seasons of Ruby. At me about it. It's fine. I was a big fan
I
of
mean,
Monty growing up. Um, this is my little homage to Ruby.
yeah. uh, in my head, I was definitely pulling from some of that same design source for Greta here, but she's definitely her own person.
I think the point where I kind of fell out, like, this is the small Ruby tangent. I won't be talking any more about it. The point where I fell off with Ruby was uh when the Silver Eyes thing came up, and it's like, oh, you're special. It's like, no, don't do that. Guardian's already special. Don't make her special special.
Okay,
All right.
you're good. All right. So yeah, I definitely think in the future I would have decompressed these pages into this page into like two or maybe even three pages because
Yeah.
a lot goes down in this one.
Yeah,
Uh,
the pacing is a little off in the first chapter, but we fixed that.
yeah, we found our feet eventually. Um, I do love this last panel here with Elizabeth and Jenna hugging each other.
Yeah.
Because Jenna is sincerely having a great time. Like it was a little scary, but she got to do so much cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and Elizabeth is just glad her friend is having a good time.
They
And
came out of it completely okay and alive.
mhm. And then
Uh
yeah, Andy and Greta get to reminisce nostalgically about their first night. So
And she,
just that little hint here that yeah, this has been going on a while.
yeah, yep. Again, colors magic. The sky has magic in it. I like that idea.
Mhm.
All crews, high activity period has ended. Curfew will lift in 1 hour. Hazard teams to station.
I love all of the world building that is just in that.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much you can take away from that. And then, yeah, this middle like panel basically of just people getting ready, coffee being poured, a laptop being used. So, fun bit of trivia. Uh, in the first chapter of Sleepless Domain, back when I can't remember the name of the artist, but it was an artist other than Mary Cagle who did it. They put in character using one character using a smartphone and another using a laptop. And Mary Cagle actually went back and changed that to basically using a mechanical calculator and the character just not holding anything because smartphones and laptops didn't fit with what she wanted from the setting.
Mm.
Um, and in our case, we definitely made the very deliberate decision to have a laptop in here. But I tried to make sure it was clear this is a pretty chunky boy of a laptop. Um, and also, like the blue there isn't for show. That it does mean there's magic in that,
Has an Arcanite battery.
helping it function.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we have our secret council, our not so secret council of not so
Yeah.
ominousness. Um,
Abigail, MT, Mama Maho, and Cinnamon.
yeah, the fact that we bothered to name them, like,
Yeah. Probably hints that IBM Think Tome. Yeah. I like the Think Tome. I think Think Tome is going to end up in there. Think Tome is very good. 4. Yeah, again, more world building in
yeah,
dialogue of
the
just
these
like,
pages, yeah, these pages are basically all establishing this is a system,
yeah, the
like,
people in your universe know what they're talking about.
mhm,
They don't have to be like, "Oh, as you know," right? Like,
yeah. Like you can, there are things you can infer, like like the phrase arcanite expenditure at 227 units, of which 198 were transformations, and that tells you okay, so arcanite is some kind of fuel, and it's what they use for it's what they use to power the transformations that are being used.
yeah, Arcanite went through a couple of iterations of a name, and I still don't think I landed on the best one.
I
But
like arcanite.
yeah, Arcanite, like it has the word Arcana in it, right? That was kind of why it ended up getting picked. But like, whenever I think of the word Arcanite, I think of the World of Warcraft Machinima Zinrath the movie, the Arcanite Reaper. Ha!
Or somebody recently posted a picture of a Arcanine Dragonite fusion.
Yeah, it's like,
They're supposed,
it's
they're
fine.
supposed to be coming back. Listen, it's fine. It works,
Yeah.
and we should be happy that people make memes about it.
Again, MT continues to be a long, long man.
Yeah. And then like so, here's where the Sleepless Domain influence comes from. 5 injuries, 2 of them serious. A quiet night by all accounts. Just establishing right away this is a system with costs, like in terms of manpower.
Um, we never put alt text on the mouse over. It's always down here. We start doing alt text later on, where we start talking a little bit more about, because it's a place for me to shunt in things about the universe.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, so what actually? something you can infer from this if know your math. 198 transformations, 5 injuries. So presumably, out of 198 people who transformed last night, 5 were injured. Like, run the numbers on that.
That's about 2.5%. It's about 2 to 3%, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
and
3%
then
injury rate is pretty bad, actually. Like that's uh, yeah,
I mean, only 2 of them were serious.
yeah, yeah. 2%. It's about a 1% chance of ending up in the hospital. You roll D100. If it comes up a one, you end up in a hospital with a broken bone. That's it. Not many people would roll that die. Like I think that's about on par with like actual um
Emergency
emergency
response.
crew, emergency like responders for like fire and rescue, not the police. No, the politics is seeping out again. All right.
Yeah,
Um,
and then I love Cinnamon's expression here. I love the bit of dialogue. Like, I love Cinnamon's design. So
Simmons.
something I was going to bring up before, and I'm going to bring up now. There are a lot of characters in this
You're
that
you're
are.
too close to the camera and your face is not visible.
Oops, sorry.
There you
uh,
go.
there are a lot of characters in this comic that we have recycled from earlier stuff we worked on.
Yeah. Like
Cinnamon, like Marie and Elizabeth, recycled. uh, Cinnamon, recycled.
so, can I talk about Cinnamon and Abigail for a minute?
Yes.
So, Cinnamon and Abigail originally appeared in what was essentially going to be our only like long form comic uh for what it was Air of
Air of
Legitimacy.
legitimacy. Yeah, you made it a pun.
As in like air as in HE, yeah. The title was Air of Legitimacy. The whole idea being that like we had only made this smut comic up until then, and by doing a full panel like noir detective story with this bookish mage and scrungly werewolf, you can tell which one is which. We would have a little bit of an air of legitimacy of like being actual comic artists. Um, that ended up getting canned, but Abigail and Cinnamon were the main cast in that. It was between those two, and like I don't mind I don't mind the scripts for it. Like I go back and look at them occasionally,
Hmm.
but it was definitely like it definitely suffered a little bit, and it wasn't quite as like it definitely felt like it felt like a hey take me seriously dad comic rather than a
There wasn't any passion in it.
yeah. Oh no, there's plenty of passion in it. Like I had fun, but like there wasn't any. My heart wasn't fully in it. Whereas I kind
Yeah.
of watch like I just enjoy every time I write another strip of
Mhm.
this.
I think Arcanawatch ended up just having a much stronger through line. Like, Air of Legitimacy, like, I think we never actually really established a point to it. That we found our points much more quickly with
Yeah,
our content.
I kind of watched Clean Up Crew. There's Nightjar,
Yep.
Elaine. Again,
Oh
another
god.
they them. We
Yeah.
stand as the main characters.
So we've got our full council here. We
Yeah,
have Abigail, who is the director. We have Cinnamon, who is, what do we call it? Security patrol
operations.
operations. We have MT, who is research and development. Uh, we have Molly Mayho, who is medical,
Yeah,
and then we have Elaine, who is hazmat. Basically, the idea being when monsters are destroyed, and especially when larger monsters are destroyed, they leave behind Arcanite, raw Arcanite, which is dangerous.
Yeah.
It's
It's
dangerous but useful.
yeah. It's it's not quite as dangerous as like a chunk of raw cobalt. Like it's it's not as dangerous as like an orphan radioactive source.
Uh-huh.
Um, but like over long periods of time, uh, you don't want to hang around it.
Yeah, you don't want to hang around it. It can have other negative effects. Like we can get into that later.
I kind of like
But,
I am a little excited while we're talking about this, imagining people watching the VOD or the because this is going to be on YouTube.
Mhm,
This whole thing. I'm just going to throw that up completely unedited because
mhm,
I can do that and have have people like mining this for information and speculation.
yeah,
And we're being generous with sprinkling in like things that we haven't outwardly talked about. I
yeah.
think so.
Like I think it's important. Like we are going to talk about the world. We may drop some things that haven't been like outright stated,
Yeah.
but the things we're going to talk about aren't going to be spoilers. They're not going to be things that will unravel the whole plot that we have in mind.
Oh,
Um,
also, you want to talk about what like massive magical exposure does to a person? Check out Elaine.
yeah, like Elaine's appearance there. The colored speech bubbles are there to instantly say, "Hey, this character is currently transformed." Um, but there's also like so they're bald. Their eyebrows are colored in, like the other character's hair was. Their eyes are something we haven't seen from other characters. The black sclera and sort of like, you know, like very thin pupils. And then the sort of purplish splotches are on their skin are something that is intended to be a little unsettling here.
Elaine.
Like,
So this is something that that was in a cut comic. So I don't know if it's going to come back. Um, so I feel comfortable talking about it. Uh, Elaine has to be transformed a lot of the time because when they're not transformed, it sucks to be them. It's difficult for them to breathe. Um, it's difficult for them to walk. It's like basically they were exposed to such a massive amount of raw magic that it really, really injured them. Um, but when they're transformed, they're comfortable as long as they're not under UV light, in which case it feels like they're being burned alive. And yet they go out on the dawn every day, just covered up in a full hazmat suit, so that they can get a little bit of UV cover. If you're typing messages directly to me, I can't read them.
nope, sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, and real quick before we move on to the next one, I do want to point out the very last line here with Abigail. I agree with basically agreeing with MT that we should keep our at least one eyebrow cynically lowered for the time being.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to follow up on your hunch, Sin. Like A- Abigail trying to strike that balance between hey, let's not freak out, but I trust your instincts. Like if you want to follow up on this, you're welcome to. I'm not gonna tell you to entirely dismiss this line of investigation.
Yeah. And like those are like these are professionals who respect each other's thoughts. So thank you. Another 100 from Mirror. We're not doing the boob writing today because we're trying to be respectable. But I have added more 100 bits. Thank you for the 1,000 bits, Mirror.
Thank
Really,
you.
really appreciate
Oh
whenever
my
any number of it.
god.
Did my headphones flash? Did that work? Well, I'm gonna have to watch the VOD and find out because I tried to set it up so that when we get things on stream, they would go blah, 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 blah.
Also, apparently ads shortly, so
Yes, add shortly. So um, no need for the writing.
uh,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. I think we can probably cover at least one more page, or at least
Yeah,
get one started before ads.
yeah. When it's adds in one, Katie will tell me. Yay! Oh man, it's Percy. Fucking love Percy.
Oh, okay. So, like, this is obviously basically a
It's
smash
Ian Horner.
cut.
It's Ian Horner.
Yeah.
It's
Uh, th- well, no, because Ian Horner demonstrably does not particularly care for kids.
that's true.
Like there's a lot of characters that have influenced Percy here, Jenna's dad. I'd say the first one I had in mind when drawing him uh was oh fridge, what's his name? Gold Lewis Dickinson.
Yes,
Like was the person I was thinking of while
he just did
drawing
in fact Flash. Excellent. Yeah,
just a big beautiful man.
yeah. Well, like, the continuing the tiny Twinkie trans woman and gigantic bald bear combo of father and daughter
Mhm.
from Guilty Gear. I
Yeah.
yeah.
So another thing about this page is that it's definitely the most desaturated one we've had in a while. There's basically no color. There's not a lot of magic going around right now. If you look really closely, you can see a bit in Percy and Jenna's eyes because that's where it tends to come through. Um, but yeah, this is intended to be a very domestic scene.
Yeah.
Um,
Eyes are the window to the soul, and every soul has its own chroma.
yeah, I absolutely adore Percy's apron here, bacon it
Making it
up.
happen. Oh yeah, this is the first alt text we had.
Yeah, other
Making it
aprons.
happen. Got bread because I need the dough. The apple of my pie. I went to City One. All I got was a sweet apron. Steel cook participant. City One owlbears and all the gear. No idea. Oh, and Toastmaster.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, if we go into the writing a bit, real quick here, Jenna actually has both parents, which is not necessarily standard in the genre.
All of our
Uh,
characters have both parents.
all of
Well,
them,
yeah. Well,
most
not all the elderly ones, but like the and I think
like
at least one member of the other team.
okay, I will say a team that comes up in the future, like I will discuss their parentage, but in general, like something that a particular bugbear of mine.
We're at ads
Yeah,
in one, so
back in one.
I'm gonna go to
Okay.
break. Well, we're not. We're gonna. Yeah, because I'm gonna have to fucking cut this on YouTube. We're gonna go to break.
Hmm.
We'll be back in a few minutes. Once again, we run ads to keep the channel alive.
Yeah.
As soon as we hit those subs we need, the ads go away forever. We put them in a
Hmm.
box. We never look at
Exactly.
them ever again. Uh,
Thank you.
Let me know what the ads for. Just I'm genuinely interested as to what ads run on this channel because I
I,
don't see them.
I'll be watching, so I'll
Okay.
let you know.
All right. Going to break.
We're not
Sorry,
back.
I forgot. I
You
forgot to
forgot
unmute
sound.
us. I've got unmutus. So I just asked what these were. Yeah, it's a sleepies.
Yeah. Tiny cherry phoenix. Very cute. But
Enhance.
yeah, so since we were muted, I'll cover this again. So here we have the first establishment of the relationship Jenna has with her two parents. She has an incredibly loving, attentive dad who makes her cherry pancakes and wants to hear all about her adventures, and who is covering for her mom, who the first time she is brought up is absent. Well, actually, the very first time she's brought up, she's telling Jenna her friends are here
Yeah.
in the on the very first page. So that's the entire two times Jenna's mom has shown up in this comic. So we'll see.
Oh, it's Jeremy. I
No,
forgot
so
that you put Jeremy in this one.
you did ask me to. I
I did
remember.
ask you to. I have a little stuffed giraffe that I've had since I was about 2 weeks old. It was given to me by my godfather that I have kept around like forever.
Hmm.
And I forgot that been included.
Happy
Yeah, the
Saturday.
T-shirt is a great choice here. Just morning. Ah, heck you.
Like even when extremely angry, Elizabeth will not use the swear words that she knows. And then we have their mom, Jane Green.
Jane has a type.
The type is women who are a minimum of 6.5 feet tall and ripped.
Women who can bench me.
Yeah. Um, So there are a couple of errors on this one. Actually, the City One Tribunal should be the City One Tribune, unless the
Tribune.
Tribunal is like specifically a court reporter or something.
It should be Tribune. I think Tribunal was a mistake I made in the writing.
Yeah. And this is our first informative alt text, which is that it's called City One because it's the first new one,
Yep. Simple.
and that should raise questions.
Well,
Like my favorite thing to do with the twins here is to combine their speech bubbles.
yeah. My favorite,
Go-
one of my
Yeah.
favorite is the reading the back of the cereal box.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Elizabeth is having toast. Maria is having cereal. Believe it or not, Elizabeth and Maria are identical twins. Maria bleaches her hair. Uh, their eyes are different because of chroma. Basically, when you transform for the first time, it does permanently alter your magic capacity, and that comes through in the chroma of your eyes.
Um, you have chosen or been chosen to relocate to one of our finest remaining urban centers. Welcome to City One. The owlbears play here.
Oh,
I
oh,
used to know
how
that speech off by heart.
incredible!
I like City 17 so much, I chose to establish my administration here.
All right.
Right.
Continuing, I love the nervousness here in their
Yeah.
faces. Uh, and yeah,
So everybody. So I will state that everybody transformed who has transformed or not has chroma, but transformed people have brighter chroma than people who have never done it.
yeah,
But
like
even babies after about 2 weeks have developed some sort of chroma.
mhm. I will say that
It does change as you
yeah, it
get older.
can change. Chroma can change. Moving on. Then yeah, cutting back to like Jenna and her dad, and obviously the intention here is to draw a contrast between how Jenna interacts with her dad and how the twins interact with their mom.
Increment the counter.
Yeah. Sounds like a heck.
So
Yeah.
That's
I
how it
love
goes.
establishing this particular bit of relationship between Jen and her dad. Just if you can handle that, then you can handle anything. I'm proud of you, sweetie.
Well,
Just
you
like
what?
your masker went down and you just fight and so wait for help. I know I taught you better than that.
I love the like sketchy lines around Jane, like she's shaking with rage.
It's like I don't recommend yelling as a way to get your point across, as I say in the alt text, but like Jane is so Jane as a character in a magical girl setting. Jane is actually one of my oldest characters, and one of her most consistent bits of characterization is she cares to the point of terror when it comes to her kids.
Uh,
And yeah.
Go on. Also, like she is legitimately traumatized. In this universe at the very least, like
Yeah.
bad things happen to Jane, which we'll get into later. What is this here?
Um
Black dot right there. Like
I think that must be just an artistic error.
oh, okay,
Sorry. Probably just a bit of speech bubble that I forgot to clean up.
okay. There you go, folks. It doesn't mean anything. Don't
Yeah.
speculate on it in the wiki.
I promise it's nothing. I'll get it cleaned up eventually. I have time though. And
Oh,
yeah,
bye, mom.
bye
Elizabeth
mom.
has a
Thanks.
little bow in her hair because she's a proper little lady.
And then yeah, just sort of establishing like
Martial.
she does see them off like properly, like telling them to stay safe.
That was chapter one. It took us an hour to get through chapter one, but we're gonna move at a bit of a more of a clip. I promise.
Uh-huh. Thanks for reading chapter 1 of Arcanawatch.
Chapter two.
Oh, yeah, I really like this.
The lengthification has begun.
Yeah, this is definitely
Yeah. Yeah, like, well, she became longer during chapter 2.
mhm. Like, so again, this was another case of I drew this cover at the end of chapter 2 rather than at the beginning. I did end up rearranging things, and yeah, uh, I like I like having these chances to put in a bit of color so you can see what the girls look like when they're untransformed. You see, Jenna there with the dirty. You see Maria there with the dirty blonde. You've got Jenna's very light blonde hair. You've got You've got Elizabeth's rich brown, and sort of capturing their senses of fashion. You've got Maria, who's just sort of tossed on whatever she's got. You've got Elizabeth properly coordinating, her cute little blouse and skirt, and then you have Jenna with the lovely pastels in pinks and purples.
And drapes. Also,
Mm.
I like long Jenna. I I like when I look at Jenna and she reminds me of me as a kid because I wasn't always this chunky.
Yeah.
I was very beanpole grown up. Ah, the Persephone Perrine Memorial Park.
Oh God, this is the. I think that's the most I've ever put. Okay, so this is the most work I've put into a background so far in the comic that we've read so far tonight. And I quite like how it came out. So yeah, this is definitely influenced by the parks that all of us have, been to in suburban America. Uh, you've got the soccer field, you've got the track around it, you've got the public bathrooms with the water fountains, and you have the slightly blue sky. And
Under
then
your helmet
yeah,
on the third shelf down behind you. Again, more world building. Why do you need a helmet?
yeah, more world building and more characterization, which is really my favorite part of like doing these. Like I love Jenna making a pun there with blast,
Blast.
blast, and
She's
then
so
laughing
pleased
at
with
her.
herself.
Yeah, you have Elizabeth getting annoyed and then sort of be preening about knowing exactly what's going on with Maria's life, even when Maria doesn't. And you have Maria being kind of dejected about it.
Yep. We continue to increase the tracker.
Yep.
Oh, hey, it's Claire.
Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Claire is a friend's character who graciously gave us permission to borrow her for this.
Well, Jenna Poole comes from a magical girl game.
Mhm.
Um, and the kid Naruto running in the background. So I just noticed that. Um,
Yeah.
the like uh that was run by our friend Pepper, and Pepper had a character in there called Claire, um, who I really really liked, and I wanted to make sure that because Claire was also a character in a previous RPG that I'm not going to talk about because it's very irrelevant to this. But
Yeah.
like, I wanted to thank Pepper so much for everything she's done for us that I was just like, okay, I'm putting Claire in here.
Mhm.
Show me what she looks like. Yeah,
Yeah. And then we have
track.
running based characterization.
Yep, it's not a race, Maria. That's why we're losing. If she done powerful stretches.
Coach Claire takes her job very seriously. uh,
Can't tell by all the scars and on Claire. She is also
yeah.
quite traumatized.
She's like characters go through it in this
Yeah.
universe. Like, but also, they're channeling.
Cardio is the first and last defense. I love the speech
Yeah.
bubble
It-
effects.
like, okay, but also talking about characterization and world building. Come on, sis. You know what mom says. Cardios are first and last defense. Like, that's a real world concept when it comes to fighting. And the idea is don't fight, run.
Yeah.
Like, and good cardio is a big part of that. Like, if you can run, you probably should. Like, and keeping in shape to be able to run away is an important part of self defense. Yeah, and then sort of this is not explicitly stated anywhere, but basically the idea behind the system is every weekend, uh, junior guardians go through training, um, and that takes and basically everyone does some PT, like
Fair.
like we saw with the cardio and stretching and all that, and then there's some additional classes, either classroom for abstract concepts. There's the battle dome.
Yeah.
There's combat. I want to do combat.
I want to put the Battle Dome in. The Battle Dome is based on an actual experience I had as when I was in college. No, university, not like sixth form.
Mhm.
You're close to the monitor again.
Yeah, sorry, I was just checking the thing. So the other options we had there um, were track and field and community service. And the basic idea here, so track and field is self evident. It's further PT, but the idea behind community service, uh, Adzy, can you back me up on this? It's
It's
basically the idea that
it's important.
guardian being a guardian is a public service.
Yeah, being a guardian is a public service. You are not a you are not a god. You are not above the people that you're protecting. You are
Yeah,
part of an ecosystem, and
you're part
community
of a
service
community.
reminds you to stay humble.
Hmm. Or at least that's the intent.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we get our first QHT drop. Quad- romantic goggle theory. Quadratic hypnagogic theory. If you're gonna make fun of me, at least do it right. It's like these are big words for girls. Yeah, they are big words. They're big words I knew when I was that age because my education system worked.
Hmm.
Shade.
Yeah,
Ah,
I
Harry.
I've had some people comment about this page being like, "This all seems a little advanced for their age," and
I
just
was
want to be
learning
like,
this at their age. Not like this, obviously, but like I was learning, yeah, establishing they're not cops.
"Mhm,
But like there is a civil protection, which does exist in City One in this universe because well funded, a appropriately funded and well trained police force is actually quite useful as it turns out. Um,
mhm."
but yeah,
The
like
keys there are appropriately funded and properly trained.
yeah, because as long as you have society, you'll have about about five 1 to 5% of people in that society who want to take advantage of the rest of it. And for those people, you do need somebody to be like, hey, don't
Hey,
don't steal
go
from
to your room.
people.
But yeah, so the artistically speaking, the thing I like most in this is physically representing Maria's ADHD. Um, because I want to bring that up. There's intentionality here. Maria, like me, has ADHD. She attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It's difficult for her to focus on one thing at a time. It's difficult for her to keep a train of thought going to the end if she's not like particularly passionate about it. She has some audio processing difficulties. And these are all things that she does get help with, but especially in the middle of class right now, like she's getting distracted.
Yeah.
And, like you can see her thoughts there in the background behind her in that middle panel. With why are we going over this? Well, she's thinking about dinner. She's thinking about other stuff. Like she catches herself and tries to focus, and then gets immediately distracted by something else.
Yeah. I wanted to. Sorry, go back a little bit. Like, you sure this is like not too advanced? Because it says like so in the UK, um, at around this age, was when in chemistry we were learning about things like electron valences and like shells. Foundational stuff, yes, but we were still learning more than our ABCs. Um, 12-year-olds are actually surprisingly good at learning concepts like this.
Hmm.
You would be surprised if you weren't testing kids on standardized testing and measuring their worth on whether or not they know where to put a comma in a sentence and let them be teach them things they're actually interested in learning, how much they can learn. I maintain a lot of my stuff that I learned in in school science for a lot of things.
Hmm.
Obviously tempered with the stuff I
Yeah,
learned at college and university, but still, yeah,
yeah,
like electron valence cells, you can learn frequency and spectra.
yeah.
I had a book I had a book at 12 years old that talked about all the frequencies of sound and radio, right? Like so yeah. Anyway,
And yeah,
rant
and
over.
here's the thing: like from a Doyleist perspective, this is a fantastic chance for us to like explain, like to provide a big old chunk of lore about how magic in the setting works for those people who enjoy tearing into that. So
Also,
yeah,
last thing on this page, I'm sorry. Um,
Mr.
shout out
Prickmore.
to Mr. P.
Hmm.
Mr. P was an actual teacher I had growing up, um, and he is faithfully recreated here uh,
I did
with
my
with
best.
with his approval. He does music on SoundCloud. You should go listen to it.
We'll link it later.
Yeah, pretty cool dude.
Oh, real quick, I do want to cover the alt text on that page if you don't mind going back real quick.
Yeah, there'll be a
Make
test
sure,
tonight and tomorrow
yeah,
night and the one after.
yeah, just that's intentionally a little bit sinister.
Yeah, Team Witch versus Team Clank.
I loved drawing that
We're
panel.
we're foreshadowing
Like,
Team Clank early. We'll get. I know we haven't seen a lot of Team Clank yet. Don't worry, Team Clank are coming.
mhm. And yeah, this is every kid's nightmare, or at least mine specifically, being called on a question that I'm not sure I heard correctly. Like, and thank goodness Maria has good friends here who are good enough at pantomime that Maria can interpret it correctly. And also a teacher that's willing to give her a bit of leeway.
Mighty? Bang.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of Team Clank, uh, that's headband. That's headband back there, or
Yeah.
bandana, whatever we called him.
Yeah. In physical terms, obtuse. Well, energy such as fire, eyes are cute. Yep. Obtuse. If you weren't paying attention, like all of the information that you need to learn how to get a foundational idea on how the magic works in this universe is on this page. If you remember the stuff in this page, especially these speech bubbles here, and this speech bubble here, you will be able to understand a lot of how magic works later on because I
Hmm.
keep this page open whenever I'm making it work, and here as well.
Those guys. All right. Got another cut here. I I kind of feel like this is one of the pages I want to go back and edit, not for any of the art, for the text. I need to choose a better font that's more legible for the
For empty, yeah,
so real quick, just to make sure that uh, that says magic and technology,
yeah,
um, and the sign behind MT's lab says Deputy Director MT.
yeah.
That's an emergency emitter over there to the right.
So it's a big AV, it's a big UV flashlight.
Hmm.
Yes,
Really
MT.
big, really
My
powerful.
MT is head of the MT division.
Hmm.
That, yeah, is it Marcus or Michael? I think it's Marcus. Marcus Taylor, head of the Magic and Technology division, also goes by Mr. Transistor. MT, MT, MT all the way down. That is
Yeah,
a recurring gag with him.
yeah. Also establishing here that TJ is, uh, like TJ makes use of a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Um, I love his hoodie here, the City One Owlbears. Like I love reference it. I love every time we get to reference them.
It was like, what game do the City One Owlbears play? And I'm like, sports.
Yeah, they're the sports team.
Yeah.
Um,
What sport? Yeah, sports. It's one of them games where there's two teams
mhm.
and there's a ball or some sort of like puck device maybe, and there's goals,
Yeah.
and they have to get the thing in the thing whilst following certain rules about movement and placement.
Oh God, drawing this lab was a huge pain in the butt, but I'm really happy with how it came out. Uh,
Yeah.
just and yeah, I
Especially
think we
when I
can.
was like, "Hey Jane, I need you to draw a lab." And you were like,
It was
"What do you mean? What's a lab look like?" And I sent you a picture that I think you traced a little bit here, but then added
yeah,
like some more magic
I
stuff.
I did use it. I did reference it pretty closely. I needed to.
Yeah, I was like, "You know what a lab bench looks like?" And you were like, "No." It's like, "Well, you know what a lab bench? You must have had lab benches in school, not like
Listen,
this."
I have suppressed all of my
Yeah.
memories of high school.
It's like, "What about a
Right?
fume hood? You got a fume hood, right?" Not really.
What's the alt text? Yeah, catch me realizing both of these characters are known primarily by a pair of legs.
TJ and MT, yeah.
Uh, I love the how
TJ's
I
name, I
blur.
believe, is Taylor Johnson, by the way. Just
Yeah. I love the way I blurred their faces through the jar.
yeah,
And
it's good. Use of a projectile used to destroy your mascot.
shouldn't
That's
it
not
have
his voice. I don't remember what his voice is.
disintegrated? I think it's a good voice for him.
Markham. In fact, that might. Remarkably stable. UV light so causes it to break down. This was lodged in the middle of our friend here. Its harmonics are remarkable. It's not impossible for natural magic to form something this perfectly resonant, but the actions of that happening outside of extreme deep water or geothermal cave system are infinitesimal.
Sorry, I must have slept through that class.
Apologize, I do tend to ramble. I was hoping we could interview your team.
I don't see
Yeah.
why not. Being none the worse for wear. But yeah, like I love that bit of characterization for MT.
MT's speech bubbles are, contain a minimum of 20 words. Whenever whenever I'm writing MT, I'm always like, how can I say this in as many words as possible?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I gotta say it's a real pain in the butt, like fitting him into word bubble sometimes.
I like MT. He's a
Yeah,
good
and then oh, I love that last phrase. Just like, oh, stones. That means I have to speak with Mrs. Green again.
character.
Like, like, here's the thing: since we have met Jane at this point, we now have a pretty good idea of why he's making that face.
Yeah,
Just like we have seen Jane's reaction to what happened with the girls when they told her about it.
yeah,
Like you just know that TJ's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna catch at least some of that hell.
yeah. TJ has like a couple teams that they monitor. That he monitors like on particular days, so he's not always monitoring. Like basically as the night goes on, they'll switch over operators to adult teams, or like
Mhm.
they'll switch days or whatever, but there's always the same teams whenever they're on. So
Yeah.
he's had to speak to like he has two kids with the same mom on his team. So yeah, he knows them quite well. I love writing this. I love reading it. Oh,
Yeah.
also we've got like other characters from Sleepless Domain in here too.
Yeah.
Well, from like fan sleepy
So
characters.
Sleepless Domain has a very active community who make original magical girls.
Yeah.
Um, the one in particular here on the left with the hair covering her eyes is Millie,
I
who
like
is
Millie Geiger.
Millie Geiger is a very beloved character. Shout outs to oh Beans. I feel real bad forgetting their name in the moment. Um, one second.
Yeah. While you're looking that up, I'm going to talk about my policy regarding people bringing me their
Goofy Pants.
OCs for our universe. Yes, keep doing it. Please bring them here. I'll put them in the comic if I have room for them. If there's a crowd scene, you want your character in there? Fucking show me what they look like. I'll hand it to Jane and make her put it in there. I won't have to twist her arm that hard. I love seeing your OCs. I love seeing what other people do with my work. It is the sincerest form of appreciation. Even if like you don't know what they look like, even if you just have an idea about what your magical girl would be doing in this setting, I love to hear it. Love to. I'm 100% sincere. Yeah,
I can't say I disagree. Back to the page. So yeah, Millie Geiger, creation of Goofy Pants on the SD server, and I think they're on our server. Shout out to you. You're lovely.
yeah,
Your
we love you,
character.
goofs.
Um, but yeah, sort of. This scene here. Um, those characters on the right will come up later. Uh,
Yeah,
I find it very funny that I stuck them in this one, considering what happens later. But if we scroll down a bit, just I love playing in a little physical comedy like that.
kicks the can, hops away, falls in.
She must have kicked that really freaking hard.
Yeah,
It
just
was mostly empty.
give her a minute. Yes, it's Saturday. No,
Uh,
school isn't in session. Yes, they use the building for magical girl classes the weekend. Yes, the kids can access their lockers whenever they're in the building.
yeah, just like listen, like it's not a school day. This is just
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah, these are all magical girls, all of them, every single one.
Yeah, like all the school buildings need to be multi-purpose. They only have so many.
Only ding
You're
my
sure you
pride.
okay? Yeah, I only ding my pride. I love the expressions on that first one. And I'm sure you'll have a lot to say about this entire page.
again, I know artists that do subtext and they're all cowards. This page was very much a like. I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. Jenna's trans. There are protect trans kids. Kids kids know what they are. If a kid is smart enough to understand electron valence shells, like I said earlier, and smart enough to understand lengths of electromagnetic waves, they are smart enough to understand what is going on inside their own head. Fucking treat kids with respect. They know what they need. They know who
Mm.
they are. I will not. I will repeat myself over and over again. I will not brook this fucking nonsense. And to the fucking cast report, it is the least scientific nonsense I have read in my whole fucking life. How do you do a double blind trial for for hormones? How the fuck do you do that? One group is going to notice they're not growing tits. Vented. Anyway, continuing. Um, yeah, Jenna
But yeah,
is Jenna is trans, and
we want to really like put a fine point on it. It's like, okay, we have implied it. We implied it on the very first page, but also she is trans.
yes,
She is like we have here explaining that she is in the process of transitioning. We have here explaining why she made that choice, and we have her like smiling, fiddling with her hair, like as she speaks with a trans flag in the background.
yeah,
Case over.
and also like the way kids address this. You think I came up with this line out of whole cloth? No, this is a kid has asked me this, and I thought it was delightful
Yeah.
because it like those kids give me more like the children give me like more understanding than most adults do. I got misgendered at work today. I've never been misgendered by a child. They get it.
Hmm.
Um,
I
so what
like my
made you decide you want to be a boy anymore? Maria!
yeah, like some kids ask questions like that. Some kids are even further along.
I love when kids ask questions like that. It's so like perfect. It's like, yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
I have a question. I don't know how to phrase it correctly. Filter's not engaged. Let's go.
Uh-huh. But yeah, learning more about yourself and your friends is one of the best parts of growing up.
Yeah,
And if this comic is about anything, it's about growing up.
yeah. I knew I was trans when I was 7. I'm a pretty average person.
Real quick, I need to get some water.
I'm gonna yell for a minute. I'm not gonna yell for a minute. Like, yeah, I knew I was trans when I was 7, and I cannot be an outlier, right? Like, everything else about me is pretty average. I wouldn't imagine that's above average or different. I hid who I was for 20 years before I finally allowed myself to say, like, yeah, 23 years, I guess, because, I figured out when I was 7, I was like, yeah, I can pinpoint the moment my egg cracked as well, back to like playing Final Fantasy 7 and seeing Cloud dress up in Wool Market. Like, that's the moment. But yeah, kids know.
All
Kids
right.
know. Continuing,
Uh,
because I will rant about this for fucking hours because it winds
yeah.
me up. It's fine.
We can schedule the trans rant, the 3 hour trans rant for
Yeah,
later in the
a
week.
different stream. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, it's Cinnamon. It's Cinnamon. In her like less scary outfit, and
Yeah,
TJ
this is her
looking. Uh,
TJ looking just absolutely like the most mousy guy ever.
yeah, something to dredge up bad
Yeah.
memories. Yeah, Jane. Jane has some damage. I wonder
Yeah.
where that came from. I wonder how that
Yeah,
happened. We'll talk about that.
noticeably, Simon addresses Jenna's dad as Mr. Poole, and she addresses Jane by her first name. Like, just very basic, just very basic relationship establishment there that Cinnamon and Jane are familiar with each other. Also, Jane is taller than Jenna's dad.
Yeah, by a head. Although, like, I kind of feel like Jazz Dad's a little dumpy, but that's true. That's
Yeah,
we stand a short king.
yeah.
But then, like, around Jane, every man is a short king. So
Hmm. But yeah,
team up 5 6.
I like God. I can see these parent teacher conferences in my head.
Yeah,
Like that's absolutely what this is drawing from trope wise of just uh like uh, Percy asking, "Are the girls in trouble?" And teacher's like, "Not at all. We have questions about their encounter last night." And just Jane immediately like, "So they are in trouble."
yeah.
Why would you think that, Jane? Because I already gave them an earful about it. Percy like, "You did?" Look, Team 056, Team Witch, encountered something weird. We just want to get some more details. And this is also and then teaching sort of like that very nervous, like clerk like way. This is also an opportunity to review our safe patrol policy with the team while you're both present.
TJ absolutely practiced that in the bathroom mirror, waiting for
Mhm.
Jane to arrive.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to help, Miss Brandy. Cinnamon Brandy, but you can call me Sin.
Yeah, kids are
Kids
acting up.
don't actually have a lot of life or death encounters these days. They put quite a lot of work into that. And then, yeah, Maria going, "Mm? Oh my stones.
We can see genius tell us.
That's cinnamon effing brandy." I
Yeah,
do kind of want to give her an F middle name. So so that can actually be like something people call her.
yeah,
And then,
but
yeah, Power Wolf. Like, oh god, I love the art on this page. Just characterization via reaction.
yeah,
Like, we have seen Cinnamon Brandy like dressed down before. She's got these huge tattoos. She's buff as hell. Like she's talking about these suspicions, and then like we learned her code name is Power Wolf,
yeah,
and Maria knows her as Cinnamon effing Brandy.
yeah. She's been on cereal boxes.
Yep. And then look at their eyes in that last panel.
Okay.
Okay.
They can call the principal's office and finding actual factual Superman there. Yeah, the eyebrow.
Yep. Jenna's eyebrows just popping out her head.
Yeah, it's good.
And then, yeah, so that's everything that happened. And then like listen, if Maria can tell a story and Elizabeth nods along, it's probably true.
Yeah,
Or it's probably a huge whopper.
that's slightly more
In
concerning.
this case, they told the truth.
It if I was going to if I was going to revisit this, I'd probably
Uh,
have the seating be Jane, the twins, Jenna, and then her dad.
yeah,
But
probably.
getting that many people, like they're only using one half of the table because comics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a slightly more concerning version than I heard this. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, like Jenna told her dad what happened, but she probably de-emphasized the amount of danger she was in.
I love her face here.
Yeah.
You break a very important safety rule when you discuss consequences. We didn't want to. Yeah, that's our duty to protect people. Maria, your responsibility as juniors. So, like, drawing a fine line between, like, no, you didn't sign up to die. You're responsible for something, but it's not a duty, right? Like,
Mhm.
you're not going to be court-martialed
Yeah.
for not for retreating. Like, you could do that. You could do that.
Yeah, I really wanted to emphasize the duty between the I really wanted to emphasize the difference between duty and responsibility here because This is where I think the sleepless domain influence is coming through most clear, specifically in the way we think about sleepless domain. In that comic, there is a lot of like, I'd say one of the like central themes that Sleepless Domain revolves around is the idea that these girls see it as their duty to go out and patrol and fight monsters, even though it can be very dangerous.
Lethal.
And
Yeah.
sort of, this is sort of a conversational, like, counterpart to that, in that the way we've thought about this world, we wanted to establish yes, these kids go out and patrol and fight monsters, but they're doing it in a setting where people have thought about it and care that they're doing that and are trying to make it as safe as it can be while it's still kids going out and fighting monsters. And that comes through here with Sin, like sort of putting a fine, like sort of clarification here about look, here's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're not supposed to fight monsters and get in their way to make sure that they don't hurt people. That's not your job yet. You're here to clean up the little guys so that they don't grow into big guys.
Oh, little
Like,
guy.
and like that sort of the second part to that, you know, like it's also your responsibility to keep you, your sister, and your best friend safe. Like, and just oh god, I love the reaction panels there because have you ever been in a class where you yourself weren't directly responsible for something bad that happened, but the entire class is getting like read the riot act
Yeah.
and you still feel responsible? Yeah,
You're your
that's what.
friend's house without being yelled at. Like, oh, you just try to disappear into the couch.
Yeah, and it's 10th grade chemistry. Like there is some dangerous stuff you can do in this field, but we're also not letting you do anything with lead or anything that could explode.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Um, so
The Jenna's powers notwithstanding.
yeah. So when Jane gave this page to me, I'm like, Jenna looks off model. And she was like, "Are you sure?" And then I looked back over it and I was like, "No, she looks off model." Now I think it might just be an effect of the lengthification, which hadn't hit her
Yeah.
that hard yet. But also, it's
I
because she's
I think her
sad.
jaw yeah, I think her jaw is a little too strong in like that first
Yeah,
one.
but
Like I
like,
would have gone with a pointier jaw, but
it's also because she looks genuinely sad,
yeah.
which is something that she didn't look like before. And then it's like
I
these,
love all of the expressions on this page except for TJ's. I could have done better with TJ's. TJ's looks very blasé.
yeah,
Like, and I feel like he should be showing some more concern.
and Cinnamon realizing, oh, they think we're going to ban them. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Like, come on, you can't say no to that face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's mute on it. Let's see. Based on something yeah, she was saying she was right. We don't punish bravery with suspensions. Yeah,
Yeah, and just like Jenna feels elated, like Elizabeth is relieved, and Maria's like, "Ha! I knew it."
yeah. I, yeah, we got some comments when this panel dropped. So if I blackout's still true, just the like s- uh traumatized soy jack face. Yeah.
Or just like it wants to be that one meme from like Airplane with the guy like flashing back to old war footage.
Yeah.
Ask me again when you're older.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder
Um,
how bad that could have been.
it was a bad time. Huh?
You know what, Trent? So this is up in the warning. Maria.
I love Maria's expression here.
E?
Eh? Eh?
You know what? Fuck it. Increment the count of a good Maria faces. Get that up
Yeah.
there. Uh,
Um, so I do something. I do something here I don't usually do, and it's like I did a little color here to make sure you could tell who was speaking. Because Maria is green, Elizabeth is orange.
Just a little
I
bit.
think there's a little more color than I would normally apply
Yeah.
in the backgrounds now. I think I was just on a real kick with the gradients uh, on indoors. So
Oh, and Taylor is a real person. Taylor is my hormone nurse, and she cried when I showed her this panel.
Eee. um,
That's her. That's what she looks like.
yeah, I love the way Maria is sitting.
Yeah,
Like with that, she cannot sit properly.
yeah, yeah. And I love this.
The universal
The
wire maze.
universal wire. Did you ever play with that as a kid?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's weirdly fun, isn't it? You're watching the beams go around the things.
it's just in the age before like phones and shit. Like
Yeah,
you had to have a way to keep like 6 to 10 year olds distracted in a doctor's office, or it was going to be even more hell.
yeah.
So
What was your favorite one? Mine was the loops.
oh, I played with all of them,
Yeah.
but it was probably the
Even the one
loops.
that was just like a straight line and then down.
Well, that one was satisfying. That there was like a real satisfying like shunk
Yeah.
that one. All right, and we have our second older team that we are being introduced to on this page. Team Shock. Team Shock are some more recycled characters. They were basically a second team of characters that I invented specifically for Sleepless Domain, but they've imported more or less wholesale into this,
Yeah.
into Arcanawatch.
Again, owlbears. What team is that a basketball team or is that like a sports team? It's sports. You know, it's
Yeah,
sports. Who are the owlbears? They're the sports team. They play sports. Anyway,
and then yeah, just I'm very proud of like whenever we get very efficient characterization.
yeah.
You
That's
have
why are we being punished? Junior team getting
yeah,
cocky. Ash, that's not
yeah,
what's happening here.
yeah. Ella with the nope, looking forward to it. Jackie with the very straightforward, serious, no ma'am. And then Ash like, yeah, I got a problem. And I'm gonna make it your problem. Yeah, and I think our second bit of some more world building characterization in the alt text there. If you want to go back for it real
Oh
quick.
yeah. 11 to
Junior
14.
teams are 11 to 14. Senior teams are 15 to 17. Professional teams are 18 and up.
Yeah, so they're just seniors. Just
Yep.
guide tutor new team. It's an honor, not a punishment. It's a drag. You know, it's there's a bunch of Rugrats.
Ash, they're not babies. The twins are like only 3 years younger than us. That's our first time, like, I think, concretely establishing that Team Witch are 12.
Yeah. Also, one of my favorites, like you need to do stick with them until 21. Observe, give them pointers after if you run. But what if we have plans tonight? You had plans tonight? No, but it might have.
And then I like this bit of, in universe exposition here about how the whole team, like, junior to senior to professional pipeline works.
Yeah,
Ash, we have to do 6 months of mentorship to be approved for post midnight anyway. This will at least give an idea of what that will be like. Wait, we have to do what?
that's the
Ash has
smart.
to look after Rugrats. Look after Rugrats at home. Thank you very much. That's correct, Jackie. It will count towards that 24 weeks. Think of it as a head start.
Albers took the esports structure to physical sports. They just have a bunch of different teams, a bunch of different sports. Yeah,
Incredible.
that's so good. Actually, so what games do the Albers play? Oh, most of them.
Amazing. But yeah, just more efficient characterization. Jackie trying to calm things down, like Ash being, resigned, and Ella, going back to being cheerful about it.
I love
Oh
Ella.
god, I really need to go back and fix her her arm there.
There's
What is up
there's
with that?
there's a couple janky hands. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hands are hard.
Holmgren Center. Holmgren,
Be proud of your janky hands, artists. I can't draw hands for shit.
Holmgren Center is where City One was founded, sort of. At the very least, some of the first permanent structures in town were established here.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lamppost underneath the clock.
Yeah, I feel like in comic we will eventually get to like how City One was founded, like precisely.
There's a lot of stuff in there in chapter 2 about the founding of City 1 and City 3 or Cathedral.
Mhm. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff in chapter which
Chapter 2. Sorry,
we're in chapter two right
season
now,
2. Season 2
season two. Okay.
about the founding of Cathedral City, the founding of City 1, and the founding of City 2. It's
Mhm.
and like how long Central has existed. It's all in there.
Yep. Anyway,
Uh,
continuing.
yeah, at the Watchtower. Beads. Again, Holmgren Center, uh, named after someone I know. Poised, mature, accessorized. Is that them? They are cool. They're all right.
It's funny because Maria actually knew, literally just called them cool, literally just called Ella cool.
Yeah,
And just the moment that Jenna is like taken by them, Maria's like, "Oh, fine.
ads in 5. Again, when it's ads in 1, we'll go to break.
Hmm.
Stop off. I love her expression here. There's a
Really
fruity
like,
bite.
Maria's just sort of, snooping, like, how are you unlocking this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grumpy one is Ash. I know I can hear you.
So it's the plan. The plan is to follow our lead and do what we tell you. That is. Like Jackie just sort of laying down the law immediately, and Ella having to temper that.
Yeah. Live with it,
Stick
kiddo.
with us as sport. We'll be tackling some low intensity zones and handling the big problems while you guys watch our backs.
Also, 15-year-olds calling 12-year-olds kiddo never ceases to be funny to me because it's so accurate.
It's so accurate.
Yeah,
When you're 15,
yeah,
like everyone younger than you is a baby.
yeah.
They're freaking babies. Hey, all of you get over here. We're keyed in. All right.
Smells good.
I
That's
mean, it's playing Go. It's pretty classic.
oh, good hands.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
the
will
hands.
be going real hard on both the hands and the transformation sequence. Like this is our second transformation of the comic, and I wanted to go hard.
Balls to the bananas. Yeah.
Lightning, ice, fire.
The phenomenon known as sync transformation occurs in two or more
If
individuals
you're
carrying
going
out.
to read it properly out loud.
The phenomenon known as sync transformation occurs when two or more individuals carrying out simultaneous transformations into heightened energy forms have matching magical wavelengths. It's a large simplification of the thaumatic physics at play, but in essence, having matching or sympathetic emotional states as well as similar magical learnings, magical leanings toward at least one polar alignment, provides the conditions for two or more regular transformations to merge into a sync transformation and result in a higher magical capacity for all individuals. The Hexanisms of Magic, Chapter 12, Subchapter 3, Melinda Mafastra. Melinda Mafastra is probably one of MT's ancestors. Well, is spiritually, if not like actually.
Yeah, one of his colleagues.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with this
Chocolate,
and
chocolate.
this page.
Yeah,
Just look at them.
they're so cool.
Just like, yeah, you're a kid, you see something like that. That's freaking cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. Transformations are diegetic. The giant emblems and the characters aren't usually. Yeah. Again, increment the count. Uh, good Jenna face.
Hmm.
Okay, adds in one. So we're gonna go to. They get a full page to post because they're the main characters. This page is available in coloring book form. If you subscribe to the Patreon, there it
Yep.
is. Um, look, Amazon gets an ad. We get an ad too. Go check out our Patreon. You don't have to sub there. You give it a buck a show. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
$5. Like we do like a bunch of shows a month.
Hmm.
That five
And
bucks, you're
we
getting a lot of content.
and we have recently changed things. If you subscribe at the lowest tier, which is $3, you get the same benefits that other people get, which is early comics. You get both early comics and you get a look at the bonus features, which is generally I post the process of making each comic from sketch to lines to color,
Yeah,
which is something that comes out the day after each comic comes out publicly.
yeah,
So uh, if you aren't subscribed to the Patreon, please consider.
yeah. Check out the Patreon. Check out the channel. Check out like just reading the comics and sending them to your friends is great. And if you don't want to give us any money at all, you should still come to the Discord. We're happy to have you.
Hmm.
Yeah, happy
Please
to see you.
do.
And
All right.
this one is going up on YouTube, so I'm adding a little bit extra here. But yeah, after the thing's over, I'll talk more about it. But yeah, we
Going on
accept
break.
all forms of currency. Anyway, going to break.
You emphasize a bit in July.
Why? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry.
Um,
There's no known way of saying an English sentence in which you begin a sentence with in and emphasize it. Get me a jury and show me how you can say in July, and I'll go down on you.
In July, Adzy and Jane Comics will be at Anthrocon.
Yeah.
Forgot to unmute again.
You gotta unmute.
It's not like a big red button. It's like a tiny little widget on the screen down there. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, continuing
I
on.
forget.
Hey, there you all are.
See, you made it on time. Hi, TJ. And this is the other important bit of Team Chuck's characterization.
Yeah. It looks horrible. Ash! What? No, why are you so silly? I'm not. Yes, you are. Trying to act cool, you two. Ash, be nice. Jack, she's just nervous. Got her a little slack.
Sorry.
Hold hands. Uh,
Oh, youth.
are
Yes,
they?
that is a lesbian flag gradient.
Yes, it is. It is. I never noticed that.
Really?
Well,
Like,
because the evening shade is in the back. It was like lesbian. Hey,
and
cuddlebugs.
yeah, here's Micah and TJ together. Micah is another recycled character, my favorite in the. They are gender fluid, actually. They drift between she, her, he, him, they, them, he, they. They drift between gender as they please. And yeah, Team Shock have a custom mascot. It's basically a tiny basilisk is the idea, like
Yeah.
a super cheapified basilisk, the dragon tail and all that, or
Starring
serpent tail. Yes.
Dickinson Row. I will name this one. That's for Corey.
Hmm.
Also for call for reasons. Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, that's the last page of chapter 2.
We did some Q and
But
A's
yeah,
right after that. Yeah.
so yeah, I made these all basically during one of my visits with Adzy because I was on vacation. And I was like, hey, let's do some basic Q and A's. These are all questions I asked in our Discord, which you should join. Join our Discord, and you
Link
may
will
get
also be
to.
in the doodah on the YouTube version.
Yep. Yeah, you may get to ask questions like this the next time we do a Q and A,
Yeah.
which might be soon here. We're coming up on the end of chapter 4.
If so, I'm gonna say that for this YouTube video, at least, and for some of the shorts, because we do put up some shorts every now and then when we get clips, I throw those up. Um,
Hmm.
the yeah, any questions on on this YouTube video, I will also answer.
Yes.
Or we will also answer because I'll be like, "Hey Jane, on way in."
Yeah.
Is there?
We do consult together on answers here. And yeah,
Well, basically, I say the answer I want to give, and then Jane tells me how much of that is a spoiler, and then we both workshop what the actual answer is.
yeah. Um, but yeah, our Arcanawatch is a self-governing, publicly funded organization that serves as both a union for magical guardians as well as a service for the protection of the public. Or the fire department, but for monsters.
And
There's also there's also a magical fire department, though.
yes, well, and also, to be clear, the part which is responsible for unionization is a separate, independent part from the board. No one on the board has
Yeah,
control over the union. Although I think most of the board are also union members,
yeah.
which of the cast is the most gamer?
Maria,
Maria.
what?
Yeah, like so every game's kind of that's how she's bigger of a nerd as I am. Maybe magic spirit time is there a way to make them permanent? Short answer, no. Uh I don't think magic is
Long
single.
answer. Long answer. The more magic you put into a thing, the longer it can last.
Yeah. We don't think of magic as a single unified force, but it's more of a collection of. Actually, you know what? I should do the voice that I remember Mr. Brimwell having as a kid. Great question. We like to think of magic as a single unified force. It's more a collection of individual wavelengths that are in a constant state of change. Think of it like making a statue out of ice. The longer you use, the longer it will stay, but it always returns to water.
Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with
Are they a
theme.
polycule or is it all romantic tension?
It's
Uh,
all romantic. It's all romantic tension.
so far. We got
Look, if
through
you
high
put
school and these two haven't killed each other. I'll keep you updated.
Mhm. Look, fire and ice don't necessarily get along.
Like you know what I learned in high school chemistry is that fire and ice don't get along, but if you add lightning in there, it works out. Yeah.
Dear Shadow Witch, who is your hero? It's her mom.
Yep.
Maria idolizes Jane.
Magical Stone Witch is absolutely legendary in Arcanawatch. She fought off Black Stone Judgment with Powerwolf and Nyx. She saved my dad from a bunch of
Says you as
Powerwolf.
part of Celebration deployed
Oh,
back up and
nah. You know what? Never mind. I just
yeah,
realized there's a possible thing that I
it's
wrote in
fine.
there. It's fine. Yeah, she saved my dad from a bunch of monsters back then. So he was part of the civil militia, got deployed as part of the emergency backup. She pulled him out of the rubble, and he always says it was the moment he fell in love with her, although it was about a year before they actually met at college. I guess he's also my hero, but my mom is my. Yeah,
Yeah, you get it.
chapter.
You are beholden.
Descent unto the land.
Descend into the
Ah, the flashback.
yeah, so like on the next page I'll explain a bit about why the art style shifted into this.
Yeah, because everything happening to the characters in the flashback is clear, and then everything happening outside their line of sight is outside their line of sight.
Hmm.
There's Jane. There she is. That's her.
It's her. So yeah. So let's pause for a moment and talk about like these pages that we just went through.
Yeah,
Chapter 3 is a flashback chapter. Um we when it was initially coming out, there was definitely intentionally some mystique, some amount of withholding of information. But like we can now say that this was a flashback chapter as specifically meant to be akin to a nightmare.
yeah,
Like things are both very clear but also very disturbing and warped.
yeah.
Like there is meaning here that is known only to the dreamer to an extent, and there are memories that come through crystal clear, like as they were experienced. Like the way I did the speech bubbles in this one, especially, all the corrupted speech bubbles are basically uh, like audio that came through like on a communication channel, like that's having to fight through static and interference. And yeah, we have Abigail here transformed. Uh, I do like to think that it is clear that this is the same character that we saw back at the end of chapter one,
Yeah.
and you can clearly see Cinnamon here, uh, like in that style
I
of
mean,
her.
she's called out as Powerwolf.
Yep. But yeah, and we see Abigail here, and we have this new character in the purple, uh, who will be introduced shortly.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, the first thing we see her do, uh,
you can see her do is blow something up.
is we've got this huge, like, bizarre yonic creature here, and she just instantly blasts it apart.
Yeah. Symbolism. Uh, there's no intentional symbolism about
Yeah,
uh the most sapphic character blasting
yeah,
a partygonic symbol. It just
yeah.
happened that way.
I will say that basically,
In this case, the
um,
cigar is still a cigar.
yeah. Uh, I will say, in regards to the monster designs in this chapter, I want to emphasize that when, like, the bigger monsters get, the weirder they get, the more disturbing, the more, like, melded with, like, other forms that they get.
The less natural they become.
Uh huh.
Swarm of inbound light guns are burning out. Need immediate Guardian support.
I
CMC
hear
coming.
man, need volunteers now. And then, like, Abigail, like, is not, like, this character is definitely, you know, sort of taking it seriously, but making a pithy comment.
Yeah. I love a target rich environment. Unhelpful.
We need to get out of the open. There's got to be.
Again, weird fucking monsters.
Mhm. We do see sort of a uh, version of the like pig monsters we saw in chapter one, but it's like growing out of control.
The also the little bits of the thing. Bunker 5 is holding. We're sending you some reinforcements.
Yeah,
Um, so this is what I wrote. I wrote this line and then was like, I picked two names at random, and then realized that I'd named two of my friends who are actually married, and I made
yeah.
myself a bit sad.
Sorry, friends.
Sorry, David and Rebecca. 212, can you hear me? 212, David, Rebecca, please.
And yeah, here we see some advanced
Magic is
shielding
the
magic.
art for the magic is really good here.
Yeah, and like it's almost like I'll just name her since I think it might be another page or two before it's brought up. Persephone is basically controlling this sort of free floating mass of like disintegration magic that she's just crashing into stuff freely.
Yeah, it's a good Persephone face. Jane, panic later, charge now.
Yeah, lots of panicked little
Bunker
things. If
7,
you
we can.
go,
Yeah,
yeah, if you go to that page and zoom in a bit, you can definitely see the through lines of this night, and it's not great.
yeah, yeah, Bunker 7, we can't. You run, I'll slow them down. They've broken through, not like this. This is Atlas. The civilians are en route to you. Don't keep the door open for me.
Uh-huh. And then yeah,
Yeah,
so this is our first clear look at at her face, especially. Uh, you'll notice that like one of Persephone's eyes the sclera has gone the same color as her eyes, and is actually like creeping out onto her face. Um, that's a phenomena called chroma bleed, which I will not otherwise speak of until later. Just that when you see that happening to a character, that is a known thing in the universe.
Yeah, and it can be triggered by Arcanite exposure
Yeah.
and other things.
Mhm.
Fantastic, cover me.
Are you insane? So, you know that thing in magical girl media where a character will have a second, more advanced transformation on top of their, basic outfit? Like, that's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to imply here.
Well, I'm not aiming for second stage. I need way more power than that.
Wait, if you can just
What's-
like
what's-
that. You got then how? And then what? Wait for reinforcements that might take days.
Trying to act like you're gonna
Like I
single-handedly save us all.
Yeah, I love these two carrying on an argument while doing their same tasks. Like they are so familiar with each other, and then I'm so proud of this page. I'm so proud of this page in terms of art.
Not doing this. I'm doing my part. Nobody else can do it, so I have to. It's what I know. It's what guardians do. The circuit should be right. Don't there. Next Persephone. Ah!
And then yeah,
Yeah, it
like just
hurts.
really emphasizing like, and then yeah. So previously, Persephone's gone through the same level of color as everyone else. Like she's this pale white, like, and then now just emphasizing her body is utterly saturated
Yeah,
with magic.
which is so fucking dangerous. Like generally survivable, but you can't come down from it all at once or you drift apart because there's not enough of you left to hold the shape of your magic in place.
Hmm.
Like basically every organic part of you has just been flushed pure with pure magic, and you are
Hmm.
now in this state of like, okay, cool. Uh, the organic stuff has to make its own way back as the
Yeah,
magic dissipates. Otherwise, the magic just fades and you disintegrate and you're gone. So like, yeah, this is past the second stage transformation. By the way, a second stage transformation doesn't use this much magic.
yeah. In a second stage transformation, you generally get a couple extra accessories that will have the same color. Like you may experience some chroma bleed,
Yeah,
but yeah, this is
yeah. This is Thanatos Disruptor.
yeah, just this full page spread emphasized. Like she was dealing with monsters pretty well before, but now she's like blasting entire groups apart at once.
Yeah, like
Like
even
a very just all of these like you see are just like turning into dust before her.
yeah.
And like her words especially I worked with I really need to move that
We should
page.
move this page because
We should
it
move
it
this page.
completely like kills the pacing. Yeah,
uh
we did a Christmas one.
if we can we go back real quick?
Yes, yes.
So both on this page and this, for Persephone's word bubbles, like I added a very slight like echo effect, so that like you can sort of tell like that there's a shadow of her words on the bubble, just to just emphasize that this is a voice booming and echoing under its own power.
Yeah, words have power, and when you add that much power to words, it does things.
Yep. Have a happy Winterval.
And now back to our regularly scheduled set.
Yeah. And like and here just to emphasize the sheer numbers they're dealing with, she's carved like canyons into these tides of monsters, but they're like still making forward progress. And then yeah, Abigail's having to argue with someone who isn't necessarily in their right mind now.
Persephone's not here, man. Uh, you save everyone.
Also
Also,
might explode.
Get inside. What's it doing? Keep hitting it. Oh no. Blowout! Everyone get up. Yep. And
Yeah,
she sees her death coming.
yeah.
Uh,
Like, we'll explain what the blowout is, what the blowout specifically was eventually. Uh,
I
but
spoke about it before. It's the collapse of the storm core.
mhm.
It, lots of
Like,
Arcanite goes everywhere. It's a bad time for everyone. It's a magic
yeah,
nuke going off essentially.
yeah, and yeah,
Yeah,
just
the radio just going completely.
and this is, I think, where the nightmare really starts to be emphasized. The events here are no longer precisely exactly what happened, but it is was etched into Abigail's mind here.
The magic just fading.
The last wisps, and then
Again, like
Gregory. Yeah,
these are the names we saw come up. Atlas came up in there. He was the guy who said, "Don't hold the door open for me."
David
David
and
and Rebecca Cortez didn't, didn't respond.
hmm
Najee Liu, Michael Rima, and Persephone Spring. Never forgotten.
never
Forever.
forgotten, forever in our hearts.
The Wall of Tears monument.
Yeah,
This is I think I talk about this later on. In Judgment, everyone lost someone. No family escaped unscathed. It
it
was
was
a
a
catastrophic disaster.
yeah. It's something that's going to come up later in the comic, but uh, for now, I feel like we've emphasized at least some of the impact it had on someone who was central to it.
Like when Jane and like we foreshadowed it a lot, I think, because when Jane like we see Jane's fear of it, like when she's talking, she's like this place brings back bad memories. We see Sin's demeanor
Expression.
change when she's asked about it.
hmm
We foreshadowed it enough, and I think this is where we're just like, okay, we're not gonna wait to pay this off. We're gonna give her a little bit of a payoff right now.
Yeah, we're going to establish like some of what happened.
Me though.
Yeah, like we have previously established somewhat, the timing of certain events. 2045 is early in the night.
The Blackout Storm of '99, named Judgment, was one of the worst mass casualty events in living memory. It claimed the lives of over 1,000 citizens, including 6 Guardians. The disaster is commemorated in many places, most notably the Wall of Tears monument in City 1.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But if you were fully zoomed in, you would not immediately see the figure in the mirror.
yeah. So we swap. I burnt those nervous energy and sleep through the morning. Okay. Uh, you can't outrank me on this.
Okay, see you soon. Love you. So yeah, the Magisense log.
Yes.
Uh, to decode this a bit, basically, the city has a form of Doppler radar for concentrations of magic, which also works to detect monsters.
The lampposts.
But to sort of it's it's not a perfect system, and it's a sort of thing where they continually run double checks when they get pings in residential areas to ascertain the locations of monsters, and sometimes you get false positives.
Also, month, day, month, year. So 2030, 512, 114. So 2030 would be the time, right?
Mhm.
8:30.
Oops.
No, this is
Okay,
intentional. 2045, and then it reappears again at 2046. A minute after that. That's
I see.
But it was a false positive, right? Disappeared. Just have to try again. Magic's detection system is a form of magical Doppler radar. It's used to keep track of any manifestation of hypnagogic energy across City 1. This information is then fed back into the central control system at Arcanawatch HQ, allowing control to keep track of all Guardian's energies in 95% of all environs. Asterisk. You have plenty of tries already. Give such can will make you see, will make her understand. Think bigger this time. More dangerous.
More personal.
And again, skeletal hand. The system is attracting some criticism for its blind spots in some low traffic areas, but as entity movement and manifestation is predictable and they are not possessed of sufficient intelligence to identify these blind spots, it has been deemed sufficient.
They don't have unlimited resources.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think we need to comment too much on these, right? This is foreshadowing 101.
Yeah. Chapter 4. So we're into February 9th. We're into the last few. I'm surprised we did it in 3 hours.
Yeah,
Can't wait
honestly.
for people to see this video go up and be like, this isn't a short. Yeah, I get to see them fight. Now, I feel like there would be like attack names here, except that
Previously.
attack names are things that kids do.
Yeah, I do think there's a certain amount of that.
Guns are an aspect that favors both swords and wands. Finding them more elemental magic is enhanced by physical motion, including punches and kicks. Martial arts that use that trait as a foundation for their style, a very popular pastime in City 1.
Hmm. Yeah,
Looking Muppet Maria.
just she's so
Save count.
bored. So yeah, when you get flyers early in the night, I think we've established it's that they're generally quite weak. You don't get something like you see in chapter 1 until like post midnight.
Yeah, but
Usually.
things that fly are bad. Things that
Yeah,
fly are bad if you can't fly. So getting rid of the little flyers early is a good idea.
it's super good. So yeah, thankfully Team Chalk has backup. And yeah, I love the bit here with Maria like casually flipping a knife in one hand, ready to go.
It's an interesting Jenna face.
Yeah, I think I'd adjust it a bit, but yeah, here's the beginning of their first contest.
Yeah. Funk. Just like takes it in the chest. Pop.
Maria's good at this. She
Yeah.
practices. She practices.
Marisma's ridiculous amount of her free time practicing with throwing knives.
Also, I love Elizabeth's bridge here.
Yeah.
Like, I love that actually has structure. Like, you have the pins, you have the like bridge, and then you have like wire supports.
Yeah. Mira understands that engineering is important.
Elizabeth understands that.
Sorry. No, I don't.
Elizabeth, yeah, Elizabeth has like knowledge that like structure is important.
Yeah. Jenna's
Yeah.
because I do this when I'm playing like Helldivers. I'll just be like, and then yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
gotcha.
So one thing I wanted to emphasize with the explosion here, it is powerful, but she is like practicing a bit more restraint.
Yeah.
Like the last time one of her explosions appeared on screen, it was like screen covering. This is a lot more like
Sedate.
condensed.
Yeah.
Even.
Monster slaying contests like this generally require more handicaps, special rules, and corner cases the more experienced the team gets, for all the reasons you expect.
Hmm.
It's like, no, ricochet bombs don't count. You either No, you either get the point with the hit or you get the point with the explosion. You can't hit one in the face and then blow up 4 more and score 5. That's not fair.
Well, that's a clean 3.
Yeah, that's a clean 3. It makes 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Maria, the show off.
Like, Maria's a little put out, but also she's super impressed with her friend.
Show off, says the show off.
Uh-huh.
Well, mate, we okay to chase them? Again, like the solid block color, adding a little bit of time has passed here.
Yeah. Elizabeth is participating. Like, she doesn't have basically any direct attack options, but see here, she loves to yoink stuff.
Yeah, well, so it's a direct attack in as much as like if there's a thing that's flying and you use a spell effect that stops it flying, gravity makes fools of us all.
Yeah.
So yeah, 60. My lurkers 17. Hey guys, I think 14. I think I'm going for this way.
I think bang! I think you're going. Notably, Maria is leading the pace currently, halfway through the contest.
Spurs of another bridge, and it's time
And
to
then yeah,
return to the video barn.
so I do want to say something as an artist here. Backgrounds are something I struggle with. I have a lot more trouble with backgrounds than I do with character art. But it was very important with me to establish that this is a location that has been seen before. Like this is the most emphasis I've put on a background yet, and you can see the reason for that.
I'm just imagining. So I imagine for some reason the video barn ad was done with hand puppets,
Uh,
like sock puppets, even.
yeah.
We got movies, we got games, we got everything you can name. We sell, we buy, we rent and repair. We're District 1219 in Holmgren Square. Come on down and have some fun. That's Video Barn, the only one. Right? Like,
Video Barn ad circa 96.
yeah. Welcome to the Video Barn.
Welcome to the Video Barn.
Vidar 90. What's the connection around here? There's too many. Concretion around.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I also like the
Concretion.
differences in the ways Jenna and Maria are doing their counts because like you've got Maria going shunk 19. There must be a concretion around here. There's way too many shunk 20 for there to be a regular spawning. Shunk 21.
Yeah.
So you were paying attention.
So you 23 were paying attention in class. 21. I'm always listening. It's just hard to remember on the spot, you know.
Probably District 12. It got wrecked in the storm of 99.
Eh,
Watch your footing. Why don't we just leave it like this? There's still pockets of contamination, so you guys will be fine here, but non-guardians can here for too long. As of As is 115, only two districts remain as high-risk sites in the aftermath of Blackout Storm Judgment.
shit, that should be 114. The year's 114, not 115. That's a mistake.
Okay, I can go fix that.
Please fix that. District,
What comic number is this?
this is 71.
Dang.
Yeah. We've been blowing through them. Like once we've been stopping occasionally to wax poetic, but we've
No, I
been
can't do
keeping
that
the
on every
pace.
page. Anyway, I'm really proud of this page.
Yeah, it's a good
I'm
page. Like,
I'm really proud, especially of Elizabeth's expression in the last one. Just like that is a good Elizabeth expression. Increment that counter.
think I mean, like this is the same with USXW where we talk about like better every panel.
Hmm.
I honestly feel like this like the art and everything gets better with every single panel. Um, it is an incremental change, but a definite one.
Yeah. Like I there's a certain extent to where I wish I was more consistent, but I'd rather just take the improvements in stride
Yeah,
and just let the comic gradually evolve. Like you see that in a lot of webcomics where the art just gradually gets better, like every page, like a little extra something gets emphasized. Every chapter you can track the new ways it gets better.
yeah. And we talk a bit each time about
Hmm.
like if we could go back, we'll change this. But it's like we're not going back. We're,
Yeah.
I prefer to leave things intact, warts and all, so that
Always
because
forward, ever burning.
yeah, it was it's a moving goalpost as well because like the art constantly gets better, but like the art is never the best it will ever be, and how would we even know that if it did get there? So
Hmm.
going back over things that already exist um,
Uh-huh.
feels pointless because like we don't know if we're gonna be like unhappy with that later. The old comics are still good. The art's just a little rough, but I would stand by pretty much every single piece of art we've done, even like the early Arcana watches.
Hmm.
The character models took time to develop. The characters develop around their character, and you don't
Hmm.
know what the character is at the beginning of the story. Um, Especially since like I didn't write this all out at once. I add to this periodically.
Hmm.
Like I wrote um, 2 more strips today. Final conclusion. What do we do about it again? Leave it the hell alone. Tell me so I get UV on it. Mark for a senior team.
What's UV in this?
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet. Gotcha. Ooh, you swore. I'm an adult. I get one per night.
Yep. Mascots follow PG-13 rules.
Hey, Jenna, what was your last count? 25. Why? Like, Jenna is so freaking proud of this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, justifiably, it's not easy to nail two flying monsters in one go with a knife.
Maria is just fun. Again, a good Jenna face. This became an emote.
Yeah.
This is an emote on the Discord.
If you want to use this emote on Discord,
Join
join
the
our
Discord.
Discord.
Join the Discord. Join the Discord. Um,
Hmm.
Subliminal message. Join the Discord.
Yeah.
Uh, Moving on.
And yeah, yeah. Remember when Maria was like, keep an eye out for ambushers and you know
Yeah, be
all of that.
careful because the things are loose. Yeah, you can already see it. Crab. Ah! Like now, I
Yeah,
feel like
and
this is a before we go into the alt text. I feel like this is a thing that we've all done in a video game. Just maybe been a
a little
little bit
bit.
unaware of the splash damage on a grenade.
So the thing I love about this page is so you have Jenna hopping down. In the second panel, she's specifically talking about making the explosion big enough for the group of five.
Yeah.
And just like that moment of panic, like she's already been empowering that bomb, and she's literally just using the thing that's in her hand.
Yep. Ah! We've all panicked, thrown a grenade, and lost. Like, yeah. City One Arcana Watch Initiative, fourth quarter casualty statistics, year 113. Show a victim to the Fallout 4 blinding melee grenade to the same key. Yeah.
Wait, they did that in
Yeah.
Fallout 4?
You hold it for a grenade, tap it for a melee. I've definitely thrown a Molotov into my own face before.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
It's
Why would you
different.
do
You can rebind it on the keyboard, but yeah, the console players, nah. As noted in the previous end of year report, two separate buttons for the two main menus. Yes, right, there are. Anyway, so the previous end of year report, City One's casualties have continued their historic lows since the organizational changes made in the aftermath of Blackout Storm Judgment in 1999. Based on the detailed breakdown below, City One's Guardians have experienced an average of 612 minor injuries, 200 critical injuries, and one adult death per year between the years of 100 and 113. It is noted during that time not a single juvenile guardian has lost their life. Arcanawatch attributes this monumental success to the variety of factors, especially its organizational commitment to proper training, oversight, and emergency response. Bang!
that?
Matching wavelengths energy states extremely rare for a guardian to be directly injured by their own attacks, environmental concerns notwithstanding.
Oh God,
Achieve.
can we just take a moment to bask in this art real quick?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a lot of pages where I go back and I'm just like, holy shit. But I'm real proud of the panels here.
Yeah, they're really
Yes,
good. I love this panel especially. Just TJ like, no!
like directing his drone down to try and catch her,
Yeah.
like already knowing it's futile. Poof.
Just, yeah,
Yeah, the D transformation makes a poof,
yeah.
and then yeah, and it's more subtle than the last page, but I also love the panels here, like dropping down and just, and
Uh,
then spreading out as her awareness does,
yeah.
like the gaping hole in the ceiling, and then
Again,
magic.
a quote from Cameron Lauder that I think about whenever I see anyone, including myself, in this position is like you're lying there on your back trying to remember which muscle group controls breathing. There's something about a traumatic injury where you just like fall like that, and you're just lying there like the wind gets knocked out of you, and
Uh-huh.
your body's first instinct is to figure out how to breathe first, but also adrenaline is telling you that you need to get back up. So you're
Uh-huh.
like panting and like flailing at the same time because you're not coordinated enough to do both.
And yeah, the high energy state, the transformation, is a guardian's last line of defense. In the event of a sudden impact or serious energy, the energy will be burned off to protect the user. It's basically like if you would take a lethal hit in a transformation, no, you didn't,
Yep.
but also you're not transformed anymore.
Yeah. Magic. Just
There's magic here. Just enough. Someone is here. Need help.
yeah. Little magic can go a long way.
A little magic can go a long way.
Yeah. Liz. Help. It's get up.
Get up. Huh? Is someone there?
Yeah, beans.
What's scarier, the
Yeah.
voice you don't recognize or the growls you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can stand. Who are you? A friend. Eyes up.
Shoulder up. Fists up just under your nose. Tell me who you are. Remember who you are.
Damn it, mysterious voice. This isn't the time for a philosophical discussion of identity. Also, just really proud of the art on this one. And this one.
Yep.
Oh,
Cherry bomb.
so real quick, I love the alt text
Yeah.
here.
Magic can be influenced by mental discipline, broke materials and symbols, and carefully researched words of power. It's the cost of those who came before. They forgot the most primal force influences the astral currents. Emotion. Cherry bomb. Oh yeah, girl.
I just so this was sort of me like going back to the first chapter and being like, if I could do Jenna's first transformation all over again, like how would I do it?
And
And
I can't
basically,
look at this
here.
page and not hear like the Sailor Moon transformation music, or sometimes the Evangelion like opening theme. Da
Yeah, just
da
really
da da.
emphasizing the color, the shape of her outfit, like her standing with newfound confidence as power swirls around her,
Yeah.
like her hair gleaming.
It's a rush that accompanies the immediate aftermath of a transformation. The exact nature of the feeling varies from guardian to guardian. Some describe the reins of power quickly in their hands, others a brilliant glow from within, filling them with confidence. Oh, we have lost Jane.
Sorry, sorry,
Jane,
sorry.
we lost you. Come back to us.
I accidentally hit the thingy.
Oh, whoops. You were so excited.
Um,
War.
and punch.
Transformation bequeaths enhanced strength even to those guardians who specialize in magic other than swords or cups, ensuring a pinch they can punch or stop monsters gotten too close for comfort.
Cherry punch.
Gwar!
Okay, That kick has nothing to do with the transformation and everything to do with after school training with Jane.
Yep. Okay, girls. The first thing about self-defense is that you should always run if your life is in danger. However, guardians don't always have that luxury. So today I'm going to teach you how to hit a monster so hard you disrupt its form.
Yeah, kicks are so for the untransformed. Kicks are a properly placed kick is often the best way to fend off a weaker monster. It may often be enough to disrupt its form, even like just that much physical force appropriately placed can disrupt a monster. But you generally don't want to bet your life on being able to perfectly execute a kick like that.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the roof's not going to. So like it was very important to me to establish like once we reconnected with the other characters that they were working on a rescue.
Yeah.
Like they weren't just standing around.
Yeah. So we're going to breach the building. Eight on my count. Three, two,
Right?
one.
Like, boom.
The faces. The mask are
Just
like, bruh.
lots of the, if you zoom in on Ash and Greta there, you can see their eyes bulging.
Sorry, that is a very silly picture, even in context.
That's intentional. It's sort
Yeah.
of trying to get the tension there. Was that quick? Help me lift. Rattle, rattle. Click. Chunk.
Chunk.
Turns out there was a latch on the other side the entire time. Yeah.
Ella is my favorite part of this.
Hey.
Ella and Ash both. Just 30. Yes, we built
Is that your favorite Jenna expression?
that one.
Yeah.
Uh, no, my favorite Jenna expression is way earlier.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, here's today's page.
Yep.
Good job, kid. So I think that considering how quickly we ran through all of those, I think we have established that like we're getting better at this because we got really caught up in it there.
Yeah. Yeah. The chapter 4 is amazing. Chapter 4 is the good chapter, and I'm very glad. Your power drop to 0 and then spike upwards. So ask again, are you sure?
Hmm.
Yeah, totally found Arcanawatch anyway. Yes. Also, it's about the size of my head. Show me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's big. That's a lot of Arcanite. Like that's most of the core of a lantern.
Mhm.
Don't leave that lying around.
Yeah. Well, it has been previously established that there's a lot of contamination in this area. So.
That's kind of like someone walking into a lab and being like, "Hey, I remember that dollar coin size piece of plutonium? Yeah, I lost it." That'll generate the same hair. It's like, oh, don't touch it. But like it's like that much plutonium is not super dangerous on its own, but
Mhm.
find it.
Oh, okay. And yeah, that's Arcanawatch
That
so
is
far.
that's not kind of what's so far. So yeah. So Coda, like so what? Um we work our asses off. This story is barely told already. Um
It's everything to us.
and thank you especially those of you on stream, you know who you are, who stayed with us the entire time here to hear us wax for 3 fucking hours about our special interest here. Um, but also like we have like this. We are a company. We pay for those of you watching on YouTube who don't know. We're a company. We pay our bills with this comic.
Mhm.
Um, but we don't do it for money. We both have like full. Well, I have a full time job right now.
Hmm.
Um,
I am currently treating this as my full-time job. I am looking for supplementary employment currently, but until I get that, what I get paid through the Patreon, through Twitch, and through commissions is what I currently earn. So, hey, if you've ever considered giving us, $5, $3, $15 for you high rollers out there, consider checking out the Patreon. And for those who just want to toss us a sub, toss us a like, you
yep.
know, toss some links at people
Yeah. Even if
we
all you're
really
doing is just like a like on this YouTube video, or just like jumping into Discord and saying hey, which we get zero monetization for at all. Like if you're completely opposed to the idea of monetization at all, come say hi. We'd like to
yeah.
see you there. We think you'd fit right in. Uh, in the
Well,
if you're watching this on stream, hi. Here are the links. Boom, 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 boom. Um, and if you're watching this on YouTube, the links are going to be down there.
mhm,
Check us out. Come, sub to the YouTube channel. We throw out a bunch of shorts every now and then. Whenever someone makes a clip, I usually turn it into a short because
mhm.
I people are very good at finding moments when I'm accidentally funny. Um, I'm intentionally funny a lot as well, but I'm accidentally funny. Accidentally funny is always better. Um,
Mhm.
Thank you. Just thank you for being here. If you watched this all the way through, dang, thank you so much. I hope you
Yeah, we
enjoyed the story, and I hope you continue reading it.
yeah, we really appreciate it,
Because yeah,
and
if you didn't know a goddamn thing about Arcanawatch and you started this video and you're still here, hey, welcome, new fan. I'm sorry, you're a fan now.
yeah, probably.
I'm glad that you like our stuff because you probably wouldn't have stuck around for 3 hours to hate watch. No one hate
Yeah.
watches for 3 hours.
Now, if you did hate watch this for 3 hours,
Thanks for the
wow,
money. Yeah.
great job.
And yeah, if you post any kind of slur in the comments, uh, I'll delete it, and then I'll also delete your post where you're like, "Hey, this person deletes comments," and YouTube gives us money for that. I'll farm you twice. Um, yeah. Just in general, thank you everybody so much for coming out. Thank you for listening to us
Mhm.
ramble.
Thank you
Uh,
so much, and look forward to more Arcanawatch. Next page is on Friday. Uh, we are currently going to be sticking with the 2 pages a week schedule, but if time allows, we may bump it up to three. We'll see.
maybe. Um, that's purely on Jane's wrist rather than
Yeah,
because the scripts are written months in advance. But the
I have powerful hands, but
yeah, um, it turns out that drawing this is hard, especially the detail that we're drawing it on. Um,
mhm,
Continuing with like what else? We do another comic, which is an 18 plus comic called USXW. It's been going on for a little longer than Arcana Watch. We will not be putting the uh the the talk through that on YouTube. It's going to be on Patreon for like free, basically,
mhm,
because it's 18 plus stuff, and I can't put that on YouTube. Um,
exactly.
but that's not going to be on Twitch either. We're filming that and then editing it, throwing it together.
Hmm.
So you will see my interjections through the editing while that's going on as well. It
Yes.
hopefully will come out before the end of the year.
Hmm.
That is how like imagine doing 3 hours and then editing it that again. Like it's long.
Hmm.
Anyway, thank you everybody so much.
Thank
Do you
you.
have anything else to add, Jane?
No, thank you all so much for joining us for this. I am amazed actually we made it through like all of our Colin Watch in just 3 hours. I do think some of that is that as we approach, current time, current place,
The pacing gets better.
we hit a point where we didn't want to talk too much about stuff going on because there's more happening.
Yeah. we got the exposition out early.
Uh-huh.
Right. And all of you eagle-eyed people out there who deep read this, and I know there are those of you out there. I've met you. Um,
Mm,
yeah, enjoy poring back over this 3-hour video with a notebook and finding all the little bits of juicy lore that I left scattered around that I haven't discussed anywhere else.
yes.
All right, I think we're gonna call it there. So have a wonderful night, everybody. There's 6 people watching, so we're gonna rate someone, but I'll probably cut the YouTube video around here,
Yep.
or I won't because I'm lazy. Who knows?
You wanna?
Is Alex
So
still playing?
yeah, Alex is still playing Pacific Drive, which is great. We should go rate
We
him.
should go rate Alex. Let's do that.
Yep.
Uh, Twitch.
Bye.